doing that. I'm like, well, that's inspiring.
That's incredible.
And same thing I was saying to you about my nephew. Like, I've got a bit of a thing going on. I want to create inspiration from when I'm thinking about who I'm doing this for. My nephew springs to mind. Yeah. And if I can get young people in, like you and Vinny, who are really sort of doing well early on, then brilliant. You know, that's inspiring for others.
Yes, that's for sure. I mean, what businesses does Vinny have?
So he's got construction and a tree surgery and one other, but he's also doing a clothes brand.
Wow.
And he's just about to go to Thailand. He's asked me if I will kind of like model the clothes as well. Yeah, so like maybe actually it'd be cool for you to meet him, because
some crossover there. Sure.
If you would be up for doing that,
100%. I love Thailand.
Yes,
I've been many times.
I haven't. I was going to go to Thailand once, and then I was about to have my first child, and they said no, you shouldn't be travelling. And I booked, and like my friend was getting married there, and
that's a shame.
Gutted. Absolutely.
Maybe we can move the fitness retreat to Thailand, because that would be something special.
Bali.
Or Bali.
So I want to do 2 close by to begin with, but then I want to do one further afield. I've also know someone that's setting up a place in Mexico.
Wow.
In Tulum.
Tulum.
Which is really cool.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'll be there in a heartbeat.
Yeah, and they actually want me to come out there and teach. So we could do one if we start to work well. Yeah, there's a place being built right now.
Wow.
That can be solely for the
I've never been there either, so that's a yes.
Apparently it's amazing. Good vibes there.
I've heard that. My auntie's on holiday in Tulum at the minute, actually. Okay. I've been watching her Instagram stories, but she lives in the US, so.
Okay.
I live in the dream. It's obviously a bit closer when you live in the US to get to Mexico.
Yeah.
They're having a good time.
Yeah.
Weather looks incredible.
Amazing. How are we doing? Do I need to sit back the whole time? Can I sit forward or not, David? You tell me what to do.
Well, that's a good question. Can we set this to autofocus once we've got it on her? Is it like a Sony? Is it going to like eye track? So if she starts moving up and back,
It does. From a professional standpoint, it's always a no. But why not?
Well, the other thing is she either needs to sit back or sit forward.
Yeah, I'll sit back.
When you move up forwards and backwards, it just messes with the
Would you
focus.
me a favour and take like just a couple of shots, and then you would getting static shots from you, David? What's going on?
Like with both of us in, just for like the Instagram. Other way though.
Behind the scenes. BTS.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm going to do a video as well.
Awesome. Oh, you're very cool.
It's what you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would sit
Thank
that
you.
out, like,
Yeah,
somewhere
just
in it, like-
Jesus.
That's why it's got a case on it.
Yeah.
Fine.
Shockproof.
Maybe.
It's fine.
2. Actually, no, let me do it like this. 3, 2, 1.
Oh, was that video?
Oh, we're doing a
shit,
video.
I was doing a face.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing a picture.
I did a stupid face.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go. Okay, ready?
All right. So if
We're
when
going
you're
straight
doing
in.
a video, you tell me then, because we can just like talk and stuff. You doing a
Yes.
video now?
Doing a video in 3 seconds.
Yeah.
So whichever you want to do.
All
We'll
right.
Go from hand from here to you guys. Ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
So Kieran, they call you Metro.
They do indeed. Oh, you do?
Yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
do. So what is your biggest inspiration in life?
My biggest inspiration. Good question.
Cool. That's
There
what
you
we
go.
have. Yeah, there we go.
Can I open this now?
Yeah.
The camera's rolling.
Oh, one more second. Let's get the pop going on. Your iPhone.
Is down here?
I'm about to airdrop it. So
Oh, okay.
have your airdrop on.
I think it's on, but let's just check.
What is my biggest inspiration? That's a fucking good question. Oh, no.
At least you get to think
So
about
that's-
it.
Yeah. Me? No.
Yeah, I'd like to think me.
Yeah. Snoop Dogg. Also me. Kanye West, my biggest inspiration. Well, probably Elon Musk, to be honest, but
Something
everyone
there.
hates
There we go.
everyone.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Right now, I'll do a video of the opening and the prosecco if you want.
Can we break a light?
That looks good. I look far too chilled though, sat back in my chair.
No, that's perfect. Relaxed.
Exactly.
Informal conversation.
You got dogs on your t-shirt.
I have indeed.
Come on.
Cats from here.
Represent. This is one of my favourite clothing brands. You can't go wrong. Represent.
Cool.
Let me top you up first.
Thank you.
In celebration of the first
Yeah,
podcast.
exactly.
It's a good Tuesday.
Isn't it?
Don't tell any of the other clients.
Won't,
This is
promise.
Diet Prosecco of anyone else.
Yeah, this is gin and tonic if you're asking me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Cheers. So Kieran's doing personal training for me, and I'm not really supposed to drink.
But here we are
Yeah,
on camera.
I know.
Nice.
And I
got
had
it.
But we're going to get our
yesterday as
steps in, so it's going to be fine. Haven't you taught this morning already as well?
well. Yeah, I
You
have.
can go
yeah.
walk
there
up
you
and
go.
down the stairs outside if you want
Yeah.
So get some more steps in.
for half an hour.
Yeah, I did an hour's yoga class earlier, so. Right, so.
Okay.
Well, cheers. Here's to your
Cheers.
podcast.
Cheers, my love. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for inviting me.
All
So
right. I think
should
we're
we
about
should we
ready.
start to roll, right?
Let's do a mic check, and then we will be
Audio check. We did this once with Rob when we went to interview Theopathetus of Dragon's Den,
Oh, wow.
and we didn't record any of it.
Oh, no. Oh,
yeah,
man.
Harry didn't check the cameras. We only
Harry.
got the audio.
Man.
Rob went mental.
I bet he did.
Absolutely mental.
Wow. And
He-
I've heard about another one where the cameras weren't working, so you had to use iPhones.
Yeah, that was the same Theopathetus again, and
Was
I
it?
set the iPhones up. So I was like, give me your phone, give me your phone, give me your phone.
Yeah.
And I had one lav mic with us.
Yeah.
And then Harry and Ben went to the wrong location. And set up in his other office, not in the correct office.
God, I bet they got a
Make
right
sure your
bollock
names
in.
are up on your phones.
Yeah, mine's in
Mine's
Do
up.
Not Disturb in the bag.
Anyway, it doesn't matter though, right? Because you can edit all these things, huh?
I don't know if it's part of the conversation.
True.
Answer the phone to my mum. Hello. She's like, you drinking Prosecco about me? Afraid so, mum.
Right. So, yeah, so have a think about that one. I'm going to ask you, what is your passion and what drives you to be successful? That will be my first question to you.
What's my passion? Trying to be successful. Fitness.
David, I didn't realise it was like you when I said carry on in, because I didn't know, you know.
I figured that you didn't.
But then I remembered you drove a motorbike, and then I was like, oh, that's David. Damn, about 5 seconds later.
YouTube in there. No, you can't. You gotta put it further over. Oh, there you go. Nice. Cool. Good. Have you seen the Drunk Women Solving Crime podcast?
No.
It's like 3 women and they just drink wine and they
Brilliant.
they talk about cases and stuff like that. And they just get absolutely pissed.
Oh,
Hammered. Yeah, see, that's brilliant. See, that's the sort of thing I'd watch.
Yeah,
It's like an award-winning They won a podcast award last year.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's fun.
I love it.
Yeah,
Have you
it's
seen The
fun.
Choir of Man?
No.
Because I went to see it yesterday, and it's basically a group of guys in a pub, and that's the whole set. And you like when it starts, you can go up and go and order a pint from the bar.
Nice.
So yeah, oh God, it's all going downhill. I had a pint yesterday.
Right. So it's all adding up.
Right.
What else happened yesterday?
I need to hammer it next week, big time.
This week.
Yeah.
Yes, me and you
This
both.
week
It's
is
okay.
next
I
week.
drank in London Saturday, and I never drink
Okay. Well, you're drinking now.
until now.
Bad influence, aren't I?
It's all downhill.
So we were aiming for like 30 to 45 minutes.
4 hours.
So, 1:45 down there.
Okay,
Technically speaking, 2:30.
great.
But I've got a feeling you're going to go until about 3 o'clock.
How long?
I have got another guest here.
Who's waiting?
Yeah.
So, shall I leave you in charge, producer? No? Okay, I'll ask you to take a seat there. Let's see, anything else?
I mean, I know in theory, but I mean, it's going to record all of everything anyway.
It is.
So,
I'm just gonna switch.
It'd be good to get all this footage as well, so we can cut it all up.
Just
Big
so-
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
get loads out of this.
Yeah.
I have
So
a-
much.
So, Mike, just watch.
I think you said you spoke to your editor as well. Spoke to the geezer who edits my videos.
I'm hitting
He's
record
ready.
on the
Yeah.
camera.
Good stuff. This is my editor.
Camera
Oh, you're the
one.
editor. He's the editor too.
I'm not gonna
Ah,
record
nice.
the middle camera. I haven't even checked if there was anything in there. Camera 2 is recording. What the heck?
No, it's
So,
serious.
I'll just do like a little opening right now.
And then, I'm pretty sure we did not do audio check. So, if I can get...
Can I practice my opening? Yeah.
Please.
Okay, I've not written this, by the way, but okay. So welcome to the Networking Spark. This podcast is all about entrepreneurship, people really killing it with what they do, and finding daily habits that really bring them to be the best version of themselves. How do you find your inner spark? Let's find out.
nice. That was really good for off the
Part
cuff.
of me just
Yeah.
Yes.
That was 10 out of 10.
Cool. Thank you, Kim.
That was really good.
Hide the booze.
Hide the what?
Hide the booze.
No, I'll actually put it in short.
Oh, okay.
Looks nice. I think it will attract your type of clientele.
What are you trying to say?
You do know I'm a yoga instructor and he's a PT.
I'm a online coach. Online fitness coach.
Online fitness
Online fitness coach and
Yeah,
social
'cause
media
all your
person.
clients are in America, I've noticed.
Yeah, a lot of them are American. I think they just like British. Yeah.
Yeah, hot British guy.
Who's that? Oh, I'll take it.
So if I can get you to
Alright.
speak again.
We're testing 1 2 1 2.
Perfect. Everybody's mic checked.
Is this okay? This distance of this mic like this? Yeah. Sweet.
All right. Did you record that
Yeah.
intro? Do you think that was all right? I always find first takes are best, to be honest, when I do things. So we'll leave it like that then. Okay, cool.
Yeah, you didn't even stutter. You just nailed it. That was great.
Cool. Okay, so we're filming, we're rocking, we're good, yes? All right. Wonderful. So for this very first podcast for the Networking Spark, super excited to have an amazing guest here. He's also keeps me on my toes with my fitness, the amazing Kieran Kevin. Thank you so much for being here on the very first ever podcast. I'm going to say cheers. We're going to be very naughty
I
and have a
know.
glass
Just
of
introducing
Prosecco.
me as fitness
Cheers.
coach, online fitness coach with a glass of prosecco in his hand.
So life is about balance, right? So
Absolutely.
it's important to have something of what you fancy now and then, right? Can you tell us, Kieran, about your daily habits that you bring in every day to keep yourself being the best version of you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what do I do on the daily to keep me at tip-top performance? I think nutrition, definitely a big part, and routine. Routine is like paramount for me over everything. If I fall out of my routine, I seem to fall out of life a little bit. So having routine definitely equals results and just drives everything towards the next step. It's all about the next step, isn't it? I think life's just about the next step.
Indeed. How strict are you with yourself?
With a glass of prosecco in my hand, not that strict enough, because I come from the background of like heavy fitness, of competing in bodybuilding and men's physique and competing at a very high level. But then coming out of that and having to learn to be almost like human again and eat normally but maintain a decent physique and have that balance. I think you have to be less strict. You have to let go a little bit, but there is an in between. There's a fine line that you can draw where you can still have that physique that helps you with life, because that's the foundation of success for me, is your body. And if you're happy and healthy and fit, you can deal with so much more.
Absolutely. There is an element of men's mental health around, I'm hearing a lot of this, more and more so. And I'm a big believer that when you look after your physical health, that sorts out your mental health as well.
Definitely. And I don't think without fitness I would be where I am today. I don't think I would have half of what I have today without it, 'cause it gives you that balance and that structure. And it also helps you to, it's like self-medicating, fitness, because you produce those endorphins and I'm having a shit day, I'm tired, I've done non-stop back-to-back calls, my social battery is flat. But what's a good thing to de-stress and detox? Go to the gym, have that social element, train, release those endorphins, fire up the system, good to go for the next day. And you come out fresh and level-headed. And that's the best feeling in the world.
Totally agree. I agree. So
But you must have the same thing because you're in a similar...
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, which is why I'm asking you about it. Yeah, there is balance in life where, you might have a little Prosecco to
On a
celebrate.
Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, well, this is our first ever podcast, so why not? This
Yeah.
is a celebration, but at the same time, you've got to keep that balance going as well. And I know that you're going to be on my case next week, or maybe this week
It'll
even.
be the moment I leave here now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be at the gym for 6-7 tonight, so it's okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is the pre-workout
Okay. All right. Good.
kicking in.
So Kieran, tell me, what is your passion? What drives you to be successful?
What is my passion? I mean, fitness is my passion, but so is business. Fitness, business, and keep achieving. I think that's really important. It's like, what can you do next? What can you do next? What can you do next? And that drives you forward. So I think you can get stuck and flatline a little bit. And it depends who you are. 'Cause some people like that and they're very happy to just settle and do what they want for however long. But I'm a big believer in like always pushing yourself forward, putting yourself out of your comfort zone, and just keep climbing that staircase just one step at a time. That's
Yeah.
the biggest thing I always say to a lot of my clients as well, actually, or people I work with or come across, is whatever goal you set, always focus on the next step, not the whole staircase, because it becomes really overwhelming. It becomes too much. But if you can just complete that first step and that second step and that third step, and then before you know it, you're at the top of the staircase and you set another goal and you go again, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, amazing. Tell us a little bit about your journey, Kieran.
Where do you want to start?
Well, you were talking about competing.
Yeah.
So let's start from your whole
Birth.
journey. Yes, and when you were born.
When I came out.
Do you remember that?
Cool. So we'll fast forward it until I was probably about 6. So I was really naughty at school. Terrible. I didn't pass like any GCSEs really. I failed PE, which is probably really surprising given my current state of work and background. But I was terrible at school. Didn't get any GCSEs, failed maths, English, science. Didn't pay any attention, hated it. Hated being told what to do.
Often the sign of an entrepreneur, someone that fails at school,
Okay.
I've found from personal experience.
To be fair, with people I've spoke to, probably, because you know what you want and everything else doesn't seem that important. I think that's kind of
And
it.
you don't want to fit in the box.
No, fuck the
Uh,
box.
Yeah, and that's the issue these days, is they want all the kids to fit in the box, right?
Yeah, not everybody can be taught in the same way. I can't be sit and dictated to. I have to be physical and do stuff and be shown. That's how I can learn. Like on the job is more of a learning experience than behind a book for me. So fast forward through school, not
So you
good.
left with no qualifications.
Left with no qualifications.
Same.
One is, oh snap, cool, so this is a very similar story
Yeah.
then. Went to college to do business studies. 3 days in, they asked me to write a 3,000 word essay. I was like, fuck this noise, and walked out of the class. And they stopped me and they're like, you have to do something, Kieran. You can't leave at like 16 with like no further education.
Yeah.
They're like, we've got space available in sport. I was like, yeah, I kind of like sport. I can give that a go. And then that's kind of what I would say like saved me getting into that. Then I went to a gym in Kettering, which was the owner, Vince Celiandro, who owns that gym. I owe a lot to him because he said to me, you've got really good potential. You could definitely compete in my shows. 2 years later down the line at 18, I did my first bodybuilding show at Wigsea Park in Kettering. And I remember competing in that, and it was just the most terrifying thing because you got to be in like Speedos, you're tanned up, you've been practicing all this stuff, and you're only little really now I think about it. Like 18 is young.
Yeah, you've still got some growing to do.
Yeah, you're a baby at
really.
18. And I remember doing that, and that was really fun. And I went and ended up winning my category, which was massive for me at the time.
Wow.
And then it just snowballed, and I got obsessed. And then it was like all or nothing. I have a very much all or nothing mentality. And then that was it really. It was like next competition.
That was a really good start. Must have been a massive confidence booster.
Absolutely.
What do you think would have happened if you didn't find sport, or if you lost that competition? Or just if you didn't find sport, what do you think would have happened?
I dread to think what would have happened, to be honest, because I wouldn't say I come from a bad background, but there's not a lot of opportunity. You kind of have to create that opportunity. And I think that's what gave me the vision to be like, you can do way more than a 9 to 5 if that's what you want. Like, you can achieve anything.
It's amazing to think back to that like sliding doors scenario, and to think, well, life could have gone one way or another.
Yeah.
And like right now, you're super successful, you've got loads of clients, you're brilliant at what you do. So it's, I bet you look back and think, thank goodness that one teacher suggested I do sport, right?
Thank God they stopped me. And thank God for Vince as well at the gym and pushing me.
Yeah.
So I always look for those role models. And my coach, Brandon Marjoram, who picked me up as well when I was like 18, 19. And then they took me through the bodybuilding, and then I changed to men's physique, which was very new at the time. And then I ended up winning that, and it was mental. And then I went on to win the British, the international, and then we started competing abroad, which was nuts for me because I never had any opportunity like this. And it was all paid for by the UKDFBA at the time, which is the federation. And they sponsored you and took you out. And I remember getting to LA in 2017. And this is the biggest show of my life. Like, this is it. Well, going to be world champions. Super excited. It's the biggest thing. All of the countries there, Germany, America, Brazil, everyone didn't even get a call out, didn't even place, didn't come close. And it was fucking devastating because you've got to think you've gone out there as Team GB and there's like 20 to 30 people, everyone's placing, getting awards, and you've not even been called out. And that's what everyone sees, the victory, but nobody sees the defeat and how much that sucks. But we bit the bullet. We took some time. We went back to the drawing board. We saw what maybe had gone wrong. Went back the next year, won the British, won the international, came back, went to Boston, then won the Worlds.
Amazing. Well, cheers to you.
There we go.
Cheers, Kieran.
Thank you very much.
That is worth celebrating.
Relive that little journey.
Yeah, fantastic.
And that's what showed me, because I was like, that's mental to be world champion. So you're the best in the world at something. That means you can do anything. If you can do that and you can get on stage and you can win and be that world champion, why can't you make £1 million? Why can't you go buy that house or get that car?
Exactly. So what would you say to a younger guy who is lacking in confidence, that is full of potential but is lacking in confidence?
I think one of the biggest things for me, because I wasn't that confident when I was younger, believe it or not, it took some time to get that confidence and grow. One of the biggest things that actually helped me to become confident was working at Next in retail.
Okay.
And they put me on the tills in women's wear, and I had to talk to people then. Like, you had no choice. That was a big one for me. Like,
do you think that contributed to the way that you are now in being slightly metro?
having my nails done.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. But also, I never lived with my dad.
Okay.
I only was brought up by my mum.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So listening to Westlife and all that jazz just through my mum, because my dad was around, don't get me wrong, he came up every other weekend, but I never lived with him.
Yeah.
So I think having like a lot of women around me constantly and being brought up by women was a big thing for me.
So are you close to your mum?
Yeah, I love my mum, for sure.
Oh.
Always. But yeah, mum's number one. She's been massive support to me my whole life. Let's not cry though on this podcast.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Kieran, this is a podcast that's called The Networking Spark. So I'm just going to pause here for a minute, guys. Sorry, we just Thanks. Okay, cool. Okay, and go. Do you want to clap again? So, Kieran, this is called the Networking Spark. So I need to ask you about networking.
Yeah.
Networking obviously gets you to meet lots and lots of different people and can open so many doors and pathways and connections. So I'd love to ask you, what's your experience of networking and what is the best connection you've ever had via networking, and where's that taken you?
That's a great question. I honestly think it's all genuinely about who you know, not what you know. If you know people in an industry and you get to know people and you can make that connection, it's so much easier to get your foot in the door with anything and take that next step. It's all about that next step. And you just got to open yourself up. And reverting back to what you said prior about what would you say to somebody younger who lacks confidence, is some people aren't that confident, they're just very brave. And I think that's a big thing to focus on. When somebody runs in the Olympics for the first time, they're going to be fucking terrified. 100%. When they public speak for the first time, they will be fucking terrified. When you do anything that's out of your comfort zone, you will be terrified, and you just have to be brave. It's normal to be anxious. It's normal to get anxiety. You just need to overcome it and go for it. And what's the worst that's going to happen? Where you fumble a few lines, you don't quite get to the next thing, where you pick yourself up and you keep moving forward. It's like Rocky. You keep pick yourself up and keep moving forward.
Yeah, you like do something that terrifies you.
Yeah.
Every day, right?
For
you
sure.
jump in and you do it, and then it's not terrifying anymore.
No.
And then it becomes easier and easier, and the confidence builds.
Then it's exciting.
Yeah.
You're like, I can't wait to do this thing.
Yeah, exactly. And it's getting past that wall of fear, isn't
Yeah.
it? And that's the first step, or the first leap. Like when you're a kid and you're too scared to jump off the high kind of jump into the swimming pool.
Yeah.
Right? But you do it once and then you do it again, and then it's fun. And
Then
it's
you can't stop
exciting.
doing it. Next thing you're
Exactly.
backflipping off that diving
Yeah.
board.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. But there is something, I think, about surrounding yourself with really good people. You are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
And therefore, with networking, it can really build your connections and get you inspired by the people that you are surrounding yourself with. So tell us about the people that you surround yourself with.
Good. Well, that's a good question. I mean, I have a very mixed group of friends, for sure. There's different friendship groups I definitely have. But then I have a lot of people who I work with outside of fitness, within the social media world that I work with, and I contract for a lot of people. And there's big CEOs, there's big CCOs of billion-dollar companies. There's even down to fitness professionals, professional athletes. And it's having the experience of each area. And you get to see how that person holds and conducts himself, and you can learn from that. That's been a big thing for me. And I always find that in every scenario, no matter where you are and who you're with, it is just the best to be kind at all times, because you will leave an imprint on somebody. And even maybe if you're not the best in the world at what you do, but you were great to work with, and you're a kind person, you care, which I actually think is really hard to find in somebody, then they're going to have you back, for sure. I think it's quite difficult. I think in this world where it's quite cutthroat and there's a lot of competition.
In my world, it's all peace and love.
Nice.
With yoga teachers.
Well,
and
maybe
all
I need
of
to get
it.
out of Kettering for a little bit, but there's definitely a lot of cutthroat in social media, especially,
Yeah.
and in competition.
That was bringing me on to where I was leading you, actually. So you've been through this journey of personal fitness and winning competitions and being really great at what you do there. And obviously that's one side of what you do. How did you get into social media?
That's a good story. So 2017, world champion, living the dream, fucking great stuff. Come back off tour from Dubai with my sponsors, have a week off the gym, or maybe 2. I can't quite remember. Go to the gym on the 1st of January 2018 with my best friend Brett Coe. Shout out to Brett if you're listening. What happens? Deadlift, not even heavy for me, like 180 for like a couple reps, slip both my discs. Torn disc L5 S1 with associated annular tear, no contact but no compression. I remember that so vaguely because I have to say it to so many doctors, and that killed my career. dead in the water, lose my sponsors, lose everything, can't barely walk, can't sit down, nerve pain all down my legs. Go from 14 stone of like jacked muscle down to 11 stone wet through, can't do anything.
Wow.
Which was a complete mind fuck at the time, because I was so dead set on being this athlete that this was going to be my career. This is everything. I'm doing really well. Going for it. Next step. And then bang.
And how old
gone.
are you here?
24.
Okay. Gosh, that must have been a right punch in the face, right?
To say the least. And then off the back of that, getting like hooked on like pain meds and God knows what else to get through it. Because genuinely people do not understand that as a horrendous injury, which causes a lot of pain. And I remember not even being able to sit down for more than like 20 minutes without bursting into tears because of the pain. It's agonizing. And then I had to rehabilitate myself over those 2 years. But to answer your question, where I'm going with this is I had my own personal brand at the time as an athlete on Instagram and everything like that. And I started helping TNT Supplements, who I worked for at the time, was sponsored by Build Theirs. And then I started to think, okay, there's something in this. Like social's getting big now, like 2017, 18. People are starting to use it for work more and personal brand. Started doing some freelance stuff. Worked at a beauticians, or male beauticians as well, and started to launch all of theirs and grow that. Of course I did.
Yeah,
and then doing more of the social. And then Rob Moore took a real chance with me and gave me a big opportunity to run his company's social media, Progressive Property and Progressive Success and everything, and build them up. And then started to run his personal brand and his podcast. And then it just grew, and we were doing collaborations with Meta and doing collaborations with big paid advertising and everything like that. And I just learned on the job. And kept going because Rob was like, if you've been able to grow your following to X, Y, Z amount on your own at your age, I'm sure you can do it for me. And I was like, I guarantee I can do it for you.
Amazing.
And then to be fair, Rob gave me my first chance to social for sure.
How did you meet Rob?
I applied for the job. And it was a heavy process to meet him, to go through his like CEO and head of operations. And then I got to meet Rob after I watched a couple of his YouTube videos, so I knew enough about him. And then we just clicked instantly. I just really liked him. And you were saying about being around the people who you should be around, the 5 people who are going to influence you the most.
Yep.
Rob did that for me.
Yeah.
Because it gave me a huge insight into how does somebody become this successful. They don't work a 9 to 5.
No.
They work day to day. Like it does not stop. Every hour is diarized. Everything's planned. There is downtime, but there's not really any days off because it's constant, but he loves it. And you have to love what you do to make it more achievable.
Yeah. And there's the thing, isn't it? If you're passionate about what you do, then it doesn't become work. Like the difference between an entrepreneur living their passion to somebody that's going and doing a 9 to 5 is huge.
Yeah.
And often the entrepreneur will be working all the time, and someone looking in will be saying, but hold on, you're working all the time. But they don't care, because when you do what you love, then life and work becomes one, right?
Yeah. And people say like, oh, you're spinning so many plates, how do you do it? But I would never not want to be spinning those plates, because you want that. And imagine if that was all taken away from you, and all I think back to is when I had my back injury and everything was taken from me. That reminds me of that. And to get back into the good space and back into pushing forwards and taking the next step and having the competition of business and entrepreneurship and life, that's exciting again. I think that's important. It's growth.
I was going to ask you, who's your role model? If you can think of someone that's your role model, would it be Rob Moore? Would it be somebody else?
I mean, Rob was...
So you can have a few, but...
Yeah, I mean, Rob was definitely a big role model for me, for sure. I mean, my coach when I was younger was a big role model for me, Brandon. My biggest role model of all time, I was a big like bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger fan. So I'd say Arnie, to be fair. And again, a man of many talents. Watch you go from bodybuilding to acting to being the governor of California to being this big superstar. Just shows you can do anything. He's got a crazy backstory as well. So again, I'm a big believer in if you want it, you can go and get it.
Yeah, and I think it's important to have a role model, because when you go through those tricky moments, when you get the no's and when you're hitting walls, and you feel like throwing the towel in, you can think, well, what would my role model do?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it can inspire you to keep going. So,
Yeah, what would Arnie do?
yeah, what would Arnie do?
He'd keep going. Get to the
Exactly.
gym, get a pump and go again.
He'd smash it.
Yeah. And I think that is so true. You just got to keep pushing forwards.
So, if you were to close your eyes now and look into the future, where would you like to be in, say, 5 to 10 years' time?
Good question. Where would I love to be in 5 to 10 years' time? I'd like an Aston Martin. Yeah, nice. We can share. Let's go. Big house. I got my little dog Gucci. She wants a garden.
Sorry, what's your dog called?
Gucci.
Okay. Not Metro at all?
Oh, not Metro at all. She's my baby. I love her.
Okay.
Um,
And
But
she
where-
could have come today as well.
yeah, I'm gutted that she didn't come in the end. She looks really pretty as well at the minute. She's had a haircut and stuff.
Oh,
But next time.
we'll have to do a take 2 then. Yeah,
she's
bring her along.
She'd come sit on my lap. She'd be good. She'd be really good. But where would I see myself? I'd love to grow my businesses and everything I do in personal brand more, be speaking on bigger stages about fitness and social media, and just keep growing that and branch out more and work with bigger brands and keep going and keep building, take that next step. I think I live in a 2-bed apartment and it's beautiful, don't get me wrong. I call it the penthouse. It's just a top floor. It's not the penthouse, but we call it the penthouse. And I would like to overtake that and buy the next property and the next property and the next property. Build like a mini empire. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what I want.
It doesn't at all. Each their own. Which brings me to ask you, what are your highest values in life? What are your values that keep you ticking along,
I think
that you live by?
values for me, honesty is really important. Don't ever lie about anything. There's no point in lying. You'll get caught out, and you should always be completely honest. I think work ethic's a big one for me, and being just working enough but understanding the reason for it. Like, why are we doing this? Why are you going to the gym for 2 hours a day? Why do you want to compete in High Rocks this year? Why do you want to have XYZ? Like that understanding. One more value from me. Health is massive. From having it taken away from me briefly, not in a serious way. I haven't been desperately ill, but I was physically unable, which is horrible. And now I appreciate that so much. So this is why I get upset with my clients when they're like, oh, but I'm tired and I don't want to go to the gym today. I'm like, you're so fucking lucky you get to go.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people that don't.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think sometimes people need to have something shit happen to them
Yeah.
for them to then find that motivation to like go out there and live life.
Absolutely. I had this conversation yesterday in London about the most successful people have normally been through so much trauma, or I feel like they have, or they've been through some trauma in their life that's triggered it
Yeah.
and just catapulted them forward.
Yeah.
Because I will never underappreciate a gym session again. Being able to run is a miracle for me. It's nuts. And I'm like, great, I can't wait to get to do that today.
Yeah, I agree. I was also once totally unable to do anything in hospital for a while. And the first thing when I came out was I said, right, I'm going to run a marathon. And I ran 2. in the
Nice.
end. And that's motivation. When you can't do anything, when that's taken away from you, that's like your freedom.
Yeah.
So,
Especially when it's your life, like it's your life.
yeah,
That's your thing.
yeah,
And
exactly.
I never knew that about you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Kieran, what would you like so we've gone into 5 to 10 years time.
Yeah.
So I've got one other question. Before I go to that last question, with your values, where does money fit in with that? I'd like to ask you about that.
Where does money fit in? I think money's pretty important. Unfortunately, it is what makes the world go round.
Do you think money makes you happy?
Yeah, I do. Without hesitation, yes, I do. Because if you've ever been without money, it's a lot harder than being with money. If you've got expendable income, it's a lot easier when it comes to the end of the month and there's XYZ to pay for. Like let's use Gucci as an example, really poorly over Christmas, thought she was going to die. She got pancreatitis. She's a miniature schnauzer. They're really susceptible to this. She didn't move for 2 to 3 days. But those vets bills were crazy because they're out of hours. But it didn't matter. And they're like, you sure you want to do this? I was like, I don't give a flying fuck. I was like, spend as much as we need. You shouldn't even be asking me these questions. Like, I'm happy to pay for her. But if you're on the other end of that, you didn't have that money, that's going to be a problem.
See, money to me means freedom.
Yes.
And that gives you the freedom to be able to pay for the vet's bills.
Yeah.
And it gives you the freedom to be able to do whatever you need to do. There is something to be said where there can be people living in a totally different society to ours,
Yeah.
where they have no money and they live a very simple life, and
Yep.
they can be the happiest people ever.
Yeah, because they almost don't. That sounds terrible. It's not like you don't know what you're missing, but you've not been exposed to what else there is. But then you see that when you go away and you see how happy everyone is with a very minimal state of living, which is, you're envious sometimes of that, I think. But at the same time, everyone's on their own path, and it depends what you want out of life.
And sometimes taking yourself away from day-to-day life and responsibilities is a total joy, which brings me on to a question about retreats.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, so having led retreats myself, it takes people out of their norm and gives people the bigger picture on their life. But I'd love to know your take on retreats. What do you think are the benefits of going on a retreat? And where would you like to go?
Oh, where would I look? We'll start with benefits and go where to, because the list is never ending. Community is a big thing. People with a similar mindset and community.
Yeah.
Leaving that bodybuilding world and moving more into a fitness world now, where I'm sure everyone listening has heard of High Rocks right now. It's like a massive fitness event, which we're doing in October. And moving into that world and having that community and going to like CrossFit in London after like meetings in offices and stuff, and then go into the changing gyms and being in that community of people who are like-minded, meeting different people. I was in the gym the other day talking to a lad, and he was like, yeah, I used to drink and do X, Y, Z, and now I'm just all into this High Rocks, and it's changed my life, and I don't want to be around that anymore. I'm like, mate, same. Let's go out and do something next week. You come out with me and the boys, it's fine. Not like drinking, we'll just go hiking or something, because everything changes. And I was like, that's the community I want to be in, and that's what I think you get from retreats.
Again, surrounding yourself with the right type of people, and
Yeah.
you tend to find everyone's going there to better themselves and to be the best versions of themselves.
Yeah.
So where would you like to go then?
Where would I like to go? Thailand would be like top of my list.
Yeah.
I know we briefly touched on Mexico earlier. Anywhere sunny,
Anywhere hot.
anywhere
yeah.
I'm going to get some vitamin D, I'm
Snap.
going to be happy. What about you?
Snap, 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 snap. Yeah, anywhere
Cool.
that's warm. I love the water as well.
Yeah.
I have done some amazing retreats in Croatia,
Wow.
which is just a beautiful, beautiful country.
Yeah, I've never been there.
But you need to go in the summer
Okay.
for it to be, which is a much longer summer than in the UK, of course.
That's not hard to beat.
Yeah, the next retreat I'm planning is going to be on a Greek island.
Fantastic.
I think you might be coming to do it with me.
Sold.
Yes.
I'll see you there. Me and
Awesome.
Gucci are getting that flight tomorrow.
Can Gucci fly?
She has a passport, but she
Dogs have passports?
yeah, she will probably sit this one out.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know dogs could have passports. That's the first. Okay. So Kieran, what would you, let me start that again. So Kieran, what would you like your legacy to be?
Whoa, what would I like my legacy to be? Well, it's like Gladiator.
I mean, even to close your eyes for a moment and really think about it.
Yeah, I mean,
how do you want to be remembered?
Do you know, I used to think that because I used to just have that joke of like, it's proper morbid, but on my tombstone of like world champion. Because that's a big a thing for me. And like, I don't have children. I'm 30 years old, and like, I will have children, and I would love them to be like, my dad's was world champion. That's a big thing. I would love that.
To be an inspiration for them.
Yeah, and see that and that work ethic and what you can do and anything's achievable. And what do I want my legacy to be? What do I want to change? To have a lasting impact on the people that I meet and for them to be memorable. I think that's a big thing. I love that. When you go out and you meet new people and you talk to them and you connect and you shake hands and you have that lasting impact. You go to networking events. I'm going to Social Media Week in New York very soon on the 5th of April, which I'm super excited about. Big achievement for me being invited to speak there. Doesn't happen very regularly, but that's going to be the best networking event ever.
So how long are you going to speak for, and what are you going to talk about?
So it'll just be in the VIP room, so it'll be a bit smaller. It'll be a small crowd, but it'll be about personal branding and how it's very important, not just in like a B2C world, so business to consumer, but a B2B, so business to business within big corporates. So you got like CEOs and CCOs who should have like this authority and thought leadership voice within their company and lead from the front.
Do you think enough people have their own personal brand?
I don't know. I think it's really important. It opens a lot of doors for you as well. Because if I said to you and you were like, oh, I've got Kieran on the podcast today, first thing someone's going to do is go have a look on social media, who I am. Mm-hmm. They're going to have a look on Instagram, your Facebook, your LinkedIn, everything like that. And then it like adds a layer of authenticity and adds a layer of, what word am I looking for here?
See what you're about when
Yeah.
people go and check you.
You're like it's like an online brochure of what you have to offer and what value you can add to the world. So I think personal brand breaks down a lot of doors, creates a lot of opportunity.
Do you think it's important to share the hard stuff on social media as well? Because a lot of people come across as too shiny on social media and just share all the most amazing bits. How important do you think it is to flip that and share something that you're struggling with on social media? Would you recommend that as a social media expert?
I would recommend that to a degree, for sure, because everyone has shit days. Everyone has shit times. It depends what industry you're in. I mean, if you're trading stocks, probably not a great idea to tell everyone you're having a terrible time because it could affect your brand a bit more. But if you're having a bad day or a bad week or something's gone wrong and maybe it's been a bit tough, it is good to share because, like you said, it is very shiny and polished, especially like Instagram, where you just get the highlights of somebody's life, where if you don't see the lows, you don't appreciate the highs. And I think people like to follow a story.
Yeah.
People like to see that, and they're going to be rooting for you way more if they know, yeah, you went through some shit.
Yeah.
Here you are at the other end, and I can do the same.
Talking about going through shit, I believe that in life, the hardest experiences are the ones that make you. So I believe when you're going through really hard times or things are going wrong or it's a real struggle, that can actually be a good thing because you can build and learn from it. You get forged in the fire, as my gran would tell me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, that's so true, though. When you've been through something like that, like a unique experience of pain or suffering or whatever it may be, what doesn't kill you does make you stronger. And then the next time around, you deal with it so much better. It's like the first time you lose a loved one. It sucks. It's always going to suck. But next time, you know there's stages of grieving. You know, like, this will pass and we're going to go through X, Y, Z stage. And being prepared for that is a lot easier.
True, but it can be very different with different people. So I'm going to open up now. I've lost my mum, but I also lost my little brother. And it was two totally different kind of journeys of grief.
Yeah, I'm so
Totally
sorry.
different.
I didn't know that.
Hey, no, it's like, I'm just being open and honest.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, apart from what's happened to you with your injury, which was obviously a massive thing, what's the hardest thing that you've ever been through that you've learnt from?
It's the hardest thing I've ever been through. I'd say that was very difficult. What's second to that? Let's go back through the years. Even going through like redundancy is hard.
That's because that's a confidence knock, isn't it?
Massive confidence knock, because you're like, I'm doing a good job, but it wasn't enough. And it's not necessarily your fault. I mean, the company I'm talking about went into administration, so it's not necessarily a relay of my performance, but that sucks. Really does. That's another loss. But you just got to go, yep, cool, this has happened to me. on to the next. What can we
So
do?
that-
How can we fight back? What's the next opportunity? Because everything happens for a reason. I'm a massive believer of everything happens for a reason. If I'd stayed in bodybuilding, I would have gone down that route, followed that path, and I genuinely don't think I would have been as successful as I am today. I am also like religious, so I believe in like God, and I think everything does happen for a reason. I wear a cross every day. I never take it off.
You Christian?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think everyone has their own path, and everything genuinely, there is something sent and something happens and you're pushed and pulled. And everyone has a different opinion on religion, and it's a touchy subject for a lot of people to talk about. But what do you think about religion, Jess?
Are you interviewing me now?
Yeah,
That's
please.
cool.
Good question.
Yeah. I think I believe in a lot in meditation, in going quiet and asking. And where I've had turning points in my life, I've gone quiet into meditation. I've asked, and an answer has come.
Nice.
Now, I don't necessarily call that anything other than believing that the answer will come to me. I go quiet. So, and I do also believe in vibration, getting onto the right vibration level
Yep.
for things to happen. And there's a lot of me that is spiritual, but I don't put a name to it, and I don't read a Bible, and I don't follow rules in that way.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the good sides to me with that I really love about religion, are people being kind to each other and helping each other in community. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of good that can come from religion. But personally, I also believe we're a creator ourselves.
Yeah, for sure.
You can create your own life.
I think it gives a lot of hope to people, religion. Because when life gets shit, you've got someone else to talk to. Or maybe it's just the voices in my head, I don't know. But you need to have that.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong, I'm not going to church every Sunday. I'm training legs on a Sunday. But I really hope there is, because it's like, I lost my granddad last year, and things happen, and I talk to him now and again when like I got all of his aftershaves when he died, and I wear them quite a lot, and it reminds me of him a lot. And I always, whenever I'm about to go do something big, I might speak to him quickly,
And I'm sure he's super proud of you.
and I hope he can see it,
Yeah.
because he knew I was a little shit at school.
Yeah. But, a lot of us are, and then we grow up.
Yeah, that's it. And then you find it. And he always used to say that. He was like, "You've done so much better than I thought." I was like, "That's a backhanded compliment, but I'm going to take it."
Yeah. Just to kind of wrap it up, to finish here, what would be your top tips? Say if you were looking back on your younger self, like you're looking upon someone that needs a little bit of advice to get motivated, some personal development, something to really, give them some advice to be the best that they can be. What would your top tips be?
I think one of them is just find what you love, and just find a way to make money out of that. Whatever it is, turn your passion into a profession, for sure. Whatever it is. There's always ways to make money out of what you love, and just stick at it. It might not be the biggest thing right now, but it might in a year's time or 2 years' time. You just got to keep growing and going. Next step. It's like fitness for me was great. Took it online, blew up, great. Social media was small. Even my mum and a few others were like, "I don't know why you bother with this Instagram and stuff. It doesn't make any money." And it didn't at the time. You did it for fun as a hobby. Next thing, bang, social media is the biggest thing in the world. Pandemic proved that. Every company wanted it. So just because someone else doesn't believe in your dream doesn't necessarily, it's not going to become a reality. You need to believe in your dream.
So find your passion, stick with it,
Yeah.
perseverance, tenacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turn your passion into a profession.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. And then they will say you never work a day in your life. You kind of do. Some days it's still hard work, but it's a lot easier than working a job you hate.
Yeah. Yeah. Love it. Well, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure to do the first ever Spark. Thank you ever so much for coming on the Spark podcast, the first ever podcast we've done. It's been a pleasure. You're super easy to talk to. You've got your own inner spark. You're shining, which is awesome. And cheers. Thanks. And now I'm like, now it's all going to pot.
No, it's good. Leave that in. For sure. But no, thank you for having me. I've really enjoyed this. I've said a lot of stuff publicly now that I have never really admitted to either or spoke about. So got some behind the scenes content for sure. Maybe it's the Prosecco. But no,
Thank you so much for sharing. I wish I didn't give you the Prosecco because I want it to actually just be because we're getting on and we're just.
Oh, it is. Don't get me wrong. Half a glass isn't going to touch the sides for me.
No, there you go. So yeah, well, it's been a pleasure to have you. So thank you so much for making the journey.
Anytime, and we'll do it again soon.
Namaste. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
All right.
Cool.
How was that? Was that all right? Yeah. Good. That was 45 minutes.
But I thought I'd give you like a 5 minute.
Yeah. No, that's good. Yeah. So that
I
was
didn't warn you ahead of time, so
that
you
was
were kinda like,
45
"What?
minutes,
Why are you
huh?
raising your hand?"
All good. How did you find that?
Good. Yeah. It's just like a nice little chat.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Good.
I love it.
I really enjoyed that. I
wanna
thought
do
that was
more of
great.
it. Yeah, good. No, that was brilliant. Thank you. I'm really glad you were the first guest because you've done this before and you're like, you know what you're doing. So it was good.
Eased in.
Yeah.
Nice.
That
Yeah,
was
that was
good.
really good.
That was really good.
I liked
That was
it.
good,
Oh, thank you.
And it's a great story as well.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's some true
inspiring.
shit. So that all happened.
Yeah. Inspiring. Really good stuff.
Well, hopefully that helps someone as
So-
well.
I'll get Jess to send me some notes.
Yeah.
And we can put them in the show notes and stuff in the description.
exactly.
That'd be great.
Plug your social links and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And everything. So, and anyone else, if you want us to mention, because obviously I'll be able to pull out the transcript, but some of the names like your coach or some of your mentors or whatever.
Yeah.
If you want to
Oh, I just
mention,
finished.
you want us to mention
Sorry,
any
sorry,
of that and
sorry,
put those into those guys as well. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they'd really appreciate that.
we'll just, because it'll all come out in the show notes.
Yeah.
Are you? Oh,
That's why I wanted to mention the gym owner's name because he'd be pissed if I didn't.
oh, hold on.
100%.
He'd be like, that was me who did that. I'm like, yeah, it was you.
Hey,
How
Vince.
you doing? Nice to meet you. I'm Vinny. Lovely to meet you.
How are you?
One out, one
This
in.
is Kieran.
Kieran, nice to meet you, mate.
Hey.
Jess, how you doing?
How
Lovely
you
to see
doing?
you.
You doing? You alright?
Yeah, good. Thanks.
See you
Good.
too.
Your turn in the hot seat, mate.
Yeah.
Get in there.
So I wanted to introduce you to Kieran actually
Yeah.
because I was telling Kieran about your clothing brand
Yeah.
and Kieran is a super amazing fitness professional.
Yeah.
So it could be good for you guys.
Certainly,
to get
yeah,
in
of course, yeah. We'll
contact, huh?
exchange numbers and then, yeah, for sure. We've just had another little problem with the copyright and trademark, but hopefully that should all go through.
Oh, yeah.
So just a little bit of changes, but then, yeah, once that's done, it should
Yeah, I
be
used to
good.
work for a big fitness. Could we know Six Silk?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be their global social media
Oh, nice.
manager, so we used to did shoot with like Messi and everything.
No way, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
So
Yeah,
never
that's
know
good.
where
Oh,
we could
awesome. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, of course. No, definitely. We'll,
have some synergy.
yeah, for sure. For sure.
And also Kieran's like massive on social media
Yeah.
and
Big,
so
not
that
massive.
yeah. No,
Taking your hopes up.
no, but an expert, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, that's good.
I think you guys should.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous.
Are you?
I've
Don't
never
be
done anything
nervous.
like
Would
this
you like a
before.
glass of prosecco to chill your
Yeah, why not?
nerves?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there another glass? Thank
Glass.
you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Just switch it out.
There you go. Well, this will chill your nerves a little bit. We've just done a podcast about health and fitness, drinking prosecco.
Yeah,
No, right.
Two things that go hand in
One
hand.
down.
Yeah, cool. I'll just call you now, just so you've got mine.
Yeah. Prosecco.
I'll text you my full name.
Yeah, so,
Actually have white rum, Prosecco,
There we go.
Dossier, everything.
We're coming back.
Yeah.
Nice little bar back in the corner. Just relax everybody a little bit.
I was online. Actually, let me see. Do I have it?
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is what I do.
Cheers.
Let's see.
It's all very exciting for you,
Just
though,
the
isn't it?
first
Yeah,
podcasting
first-
day. Yeah.
Lovely.
So I was online, just looking. Okay. What are the prices right now?
Where did you park? Did you get into the car park?
Yeah, just. I think I assume yours is the minute, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
literally
someone
just in front of
let
you.
you in or?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
good,
let me in
okay.
and then yeah.
Good stuff. Oh, brilliant. Good. That's good because they're really hot on, like David and I both got parking tickets today, haven't we?
Lovely to meet you.
Parking ticket.
Yeah, but elsewhere,
Oh,
because
really?
I went to go and grab coffee,
Yes,
so.
lovely.
Great
Thanks for
to
having
meet
me.
you.
Do it again soon.
Yeah,
We'll have to
thank
meet
you
up to
so
talk
much.
about the retreats and everything.
Yeah,
Lovely.
definitely.
I'll be in contact, sure, because once we get set up, we should just be fly through, so
Awesome.
hopefully,
Look forward to it.
yeah, definitely.
Today's a good day.
And
Yeah.
after tomorrow, after my pitch tomorrow, I'll be back on the weights and stuff.
Yeah. After Prosecco, that bottle's going to be
no
gone
more
by
Prosecco,
this
it's
today. That's all right.
Kieran, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Anytime.
I need your address because I've got them things for Gucci to properly
Yeah,
post.
that was
so,
really cute of you. Thank you.
yeah,
I'll
just
WhatsApp you that
send it.
over.
Thank
I'll
you.
message you as soon as I'm home.
Yeah.
So I want all of these edits as well, so I can help
Yeah.
chop them up and get them across social
Right,
and blow it
awesome.
up.
And then we'll have a Zoom with Sonny about the destinations soon. She couldn't be here today.
Nice one.
which is fine,
Next steps.
so. Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll do the rough edit and all that stuff in the beginning,
Yeah,
and then I'll just share a shared folder with you,
cool.
and you can pick up the full edits and whatever you
Oh,
want
great.
out of
Yeah,
that.
Dropbox.
And then, yeah,
Yeah.
it's Google Drive, whatever, same thing. And then I'll probably create some social clips and stuff as well.
Nice.
But anyway, you can do what you want
Yeah,
at
we'll,
the same time.
we'll
so.
do, well, that'll be great to have that from you. We'll probably do some
Cool.
do some clickbait and
Exactly.
go from there.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Cool. All right, man.
Epic.
Good
Right,
stuff.
enjoy.
Right,
Thanks a lot.
safe
Yeah,
journey.
thank you.
Thanks, Kieran. Thanks so much.
Bye.
See you in a bit.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, how was your journey? Okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's only an hour for me, so it's not
Okay.
too far at all. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yours?
Good. Yeah. Well, no. I mean, it's like 25 minutes for me.
Oh, was
So
yeah.
yeah,
perfect.
this is your seat.
Come.
Don't worry, we won't start just straight away.
Yeah.
What time did we book the studio till, David?
4.
Till 4. So we've got like an hour and a half,
Cool.
right? And it's only going to be like 30 to 45
Yeah.
minutes.
Cool.
of vocal.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
basically, it's just relax. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Of course.
and it'll be like a free flowing
Yeah.
conversation. This is the first time I've ever done
Is it?
podcasting too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I did a little tester with Leo,
Yeah.
and then decided I didn't want to work with him.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's always better by yourself as well, isn't it? 'Cause it's just like actually having shared opinions works in some cases and some, don't as well. So it's
No, for me it was like we both got different drives.
Yeah.
Like I want to get going and just record as many as I can.
Yeah, of
And when
course.
you're co-hosting, you've then got to, collaborate your time. And
Of course, yeah,
Leo's
exactly.
Just hasn't
Tied
got
up,
time.
yeah.
I mean, I don't have time really, but I've got time for what matters.
Yeah, of course. And this is massive as well, isn't it? So it's just such a space that isn't particularly suffocated at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be massive. Well, it is massive already, isn't it? So it's a good thing to get into. It's exciting.
It is. Do you like the studio?
Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? It's
It
really
is.
cool.
Yeah. Would you have chosen this bit, that bit, or that bit?
I'd have chosen exactly the way you've done it.
Yeah.
I actually had a little sneak peek. There's a gap in the thing there, and I'm like,
like a little shadow.
yeah, sorry. So I saw it was on air, so I was like, have a little peek through, see what I'm getting myself into. But yeah,
It's all good.
yeah,
It's all good.
yeah.
How is it on the editing side? Was that all right as a first go? Can you talk to me now? Is there anything I should do differently?
One tip I was going to give you is that because what we're doing over here is like when he's talking, we'll put the camera on him,
Yeah.
like kind of like a Joe Rogan kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
of course,
Right,
yeah.
So whoever's talking. So what that means is while he's talking, if you want to look at the questions, that's a good time to look at the
You
questions.
see, I felt really rude by doing that because I was like, because
Yeah.
it's just, you just feel like you should be polite and look at the
Yeah.
person that's talking to you.
But
And
if he- I think
really,
if he knows that's what you're doing.
yeah.
Of course, absolutely. Yeah, of course, exactly. And I can, pretend I'm talking to someone that's, not
Yeah. Okay.
Look
I
at
mean,
him.
you
That's
still, I
fine.
mean, she's still listening.
exactly. Yeah, of
You know
course,
what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah,
That was my only tip. Is it that way it would make it
Yeah.
a little bit more because you kind of know that we're probably going to be focused on them anyway.
Yeah.
Mm.
I
So
mean,
like
it
if
might.
you have to like adjust yourself or anything, do it while they're talking, and then
Okay.
it's probably not going to.
Yeah.
Was I adjusting myself while I was on there?
No.
No, okay,
I'm
that's
just
all right then. Yeah, but
giving
you're just
an
saying, yeah,
example,
gotcha. Okay. But Vinny, I know, I don't know you very well, but I know
But
you
we
a lot
know
more than
each other,
Kieran.
yeah.
I've only been texting Kieran before,
Yeah.
so it should free flow a bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Any advice for a new sort of starter?
Relax.
No, just have enough
Yeah,
conversation.
cool.
That's the thing. I think that's what we want to capture. is
Yeah,
just-
exactly, of
just wants
course.
you to be you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So I think once you're closer
Exactly, yeah.
We'll just make sure that the microphones are close. I mean, it sounds okay already, I've listened, but seems okay.
Cool.
And the only tip I would say is don't lean up and backwards and forwards too much.
Cool.
But other than that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
just get a comfortable position like that
Yeah.
or whatever, and then
He's a really nice guy, though.
he's all right.
What's his name again?
Callum.
Callum. That's it. Yeah, it's a good thing owning a podcast studio in a way.
It's
isn't
very
it?
good, yeah.
Good setup.
So does all the kit stay here? Because I see you've got motorbike boots on, and that would be a lot of kit to go on the back of a motorbike.
Yeah,
So
no,
this is
hired.
Callum's studio.
The guy that's just gone out to
Yeah.
Lake Kieran. Yeah. It's his studio, but David's building one.
Yeah. You got dirt, don't you? Yeah, that's the thing. And there's enough demand for it as well, isn't there?
Well, this-
Clearly.
Yeah, and this is the other thing, and I think having one in Tunbridge
Yeah.
would probably be better. Tunbridge would be better just because of the trains.
Yeah.
There's like 3
Yeah.
times as many trains as Tunbridge Wells.
I quite like the paneling
Yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, that's soundproof paneling as well.
with and with the greenery and the bits and bobs
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
bright.
no,
It's
nice.
good. It's a nice studio. Really
It's
nice
nice,
studio.
yeah.
It must be good for you because then you get. I mean, do you work in the studio normally?
Well, I have my own podcast and stuff.
Yeah.
I have a home studio that I've set.
Yeah. Because it's probably quite good to get ideas as well. From,
Exactly.
yeah.
So in Tunbridge Wells, the town hall's being converted into like co-working space,
Oh, cool.
and I'm going to run the podcast studio that'll be in there.
Yeah.
And so we're in the process of just getting that set up. We're going to do some sound. We're going to put some sound stuff in there as well to kind of keep the echoes down and all that.
Yeah.
And that's going to be in the old mayor's office. But it's not intended to be a video studio, at least at the minute anyway. It's just going to be audio only. But my grand plan is to have a video studio. But
Yeah.
I'm thinking about,
You're doing the basement, aren't you?
well, I was thinking about that, but they can't do the basement because the council's still thinking about whether they're going to use that room or not. I know,
Council,
which
isn't
is,
it?
Oh,
And
yeah.
they'll probably take about 2 years to decide that.
Oh, of course, exactly. And then they won't do it. That's the thing.
unless the only other option is that if I can, get the council in and get them doing a podcast in there, then they may want to do a video podcast as well. And I'm like, well, the studio would be a great place if we can have that room.
That's an idea. because
Exactly,
they might
yeah.
want- They might want to come across as like up and
But the room's like twice as big as this,
Yeah.
so it's longer.
I've got
It's like
contacts
this
in there.
wide and twice as long.
Yeah.
So it'd be really good down at the end. We could have like this sort of setup.
Course.
Where we've got 3 different things, but then I could also have like an infinity thing with like a white one where it's curved. So you could do like almost photo shoots and stuff, but it's really good for like products.
Yeah.
Trying to video products and that sort of thing. So
That's the
I know
thing,
a
yeah.
couple people who do specialist recording who do it at home at the minute, and they're like, it'd be really great if there was a studio we could just rent on like a daily basis. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, of course.
I bet you just want to fast forward and get
So-
going, huh?
Yeah, but I mean, this is a good.
This is cool, huh?
This is a good medium step to have
Yeah.
somewhere that's accessible, and I like the guy and he's got good kit.
It's really nice. It's really
I mean, these
cute.
cameras are really nice. They're cinema quality cameras.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Which is really good. So, we should get really good images out of them.
Yeah.
Hey, Callum, may I use the bathroom before I...
That's the thing, though. It's yeah.
You're gonna have to suffer.
Yeah, I don't want to jig up and down. Thank you.
So what do you do? She said you
Mm.
do a couple things.
Yeah, so I've got a tree surgery company, which off the back of we started a landscaping company just because they go hand in hand together. And then I've also got a insulation company which we've just set up at the moment. That's very early stages. It's literally just been set up. But the other businesses run themselves, so it gives me time to just sort of do anything in my days. I just fill my days up doing other stuff. And we've currently got a few other businesses that we're thinking of starting up. So the good thing about trade businesses, providing you've got the systems for one business, you can usually just run away with it and just use the systems you've got from one business to another and make it all sort of work seamlessly in the same way. So once you've mastered one, it's quite nice to get, a couple set up just so you can, make the extra money. Obviously, it's up and down in trade, so you can go, one could be really up, the other one could be down, especially in the building trade. Going into insulation, it's just people don't really tend to get their houses insulated in the summer, so it's more of a winter thing because obviously the heating's not on, they're not losing heat out of the roof. So exactly, yeah. So it's
That's the time to do it.
yeah. It is, yeah, it is the time to do it, but people don't think about it. It's crazy, honestly. Like we're trying to do it commercially, so we're trying to get people within commercial bodies like councils, things like that, to do it for them, because then it's just more consistent. Whereas with domestic jobs, I mean, my tree surgery company, which is the first business I started, that's mainly domestic, some commercial, but the good thing is it runs all year round at the same pace, so it's quite good. But it's trades are very labour intensive. You've got to have a lot of people to earn a certain amount. So now I spend a stupid amount of money on marketing every month. So I was like, why not just start a marketing company? And then I could have someone doing my marketing and charge people to do it, so it'd be free for me. So that's what we're trying to do at the moment. But I've gone into partnership with one of my friends who's also got the same problem. He's like, I spend this much money on marketing every month. And we're like, why don't we just set up a marketing company ourselves? So we'll see. Only time will tell. But yeah, it's manic, just manic life.
And a clothing brand?
The clothing brand, do you know what? I get so frustrated with the clothing brand, because the clothing brand is like the most annoying thing in the world. To get it off its feet, you have to go through copyright, trademarking, so on and so forth. And I can't say too much about it because it's still going through copyright and trademark. But essentially, we've had so many problems going through all the copyright and trademark, and it's quite expensive to do. But we've just had, the original brand was called F1T, which basically looks like fit, but isn't. And we actually had a message back from Formula One, the race team.
Yeah.
They shut us down immediately. And so now we had to rebrand, go in for a copyright again, which got refused another time. So that's another 8 weeks down the line. And now we've just put in for another application again. But my copyright trademark lawyer thinks it'll be all right this time. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Hopefully.
Kind of just makes your brain go.
It does.
It's really annoying, isn't it?
But when you've put like so much effort into something, and then it's just like, no, you can't do it. Another 6 to 8 weeks, and you're like, oh. Yeah, it's so frustrating. But it's, you've got, once you go through the copyright and trademark, it's all pretty simple from there. It's just like setting it all up, manufacturing stuff. That'd be the most difficult thing other than that. So.
Yeah. And what's it going to be?
Sportswear. Yeah, sportswear, sort of like tracky bottoms, tops, hoodies, jumpers, sweatshirts, gym leggings for women, gym tops. So.
You might need to get some metro type stuff for Kieran.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah.
He won't mind me saying that.
Yeah.
Mr. Metro. Awesome. Cool. Yeah, and you're going to Thailand soon as well, aren't you?
Going to Thailand on 16th of April, so fingers crossed. We've got a few meetings set up there, so should be a reasonably good trip.
Do you want to have the? How do you feel? Do you want to have the prosecco in the shot or not?
However you want to do it.
Yeah,
I'm easy.
You don't mind,
I'm
okay.
easy.
And is there anything you don't want me to ask you?
No. The clothing brand I can't go too much into detail with, just because the copyright's not been approved, so we can't go too much into detail with that.
Yeah.
But anything else is, fine.
Is there anything you would like me to touch on?
No. I'll just go with your flow. Yeah, just why not? Yeah, we'll just see what happens.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah?
Cool. I
Cool.
go with the flow. So, by the way, we don't have a third guest. Sonny was going to come along, but she's just like totally snowed under with stuff. So it's just Vinny now, and we're here. Is that the actual time?
Yeah.
And we've got another hour and 10 minutes. So
What I was thinking is
Yeah.
maybe if you do half, tell me you want 35, 40 minutes, something
30
like
to
that.
45 minutes. Yeah.
And then what I'll do is I'll kind of give you a flag like I did last time.
Yeah.
And maybe 10 minutes out or something. And then what I was thinking is maybe if afterwards, maybe I could sit and ask you some questions to get some audio of you describing the networking thing and talking about the podcast and stuff, which might be nice to have.
Yeah.
As some B-roll stuff or
Brilliant.
whatever that we could drop in.
Yeah, I like it.
Or some audio and that sort of thing. So it might be a little bit more natural.
Oh, thank you.
It's fine. It's fine.
Because it might be quite a good idea for us to go into the networking thing, and then I can say my personal experience of
Yeah.
how networking's.
Have you got some experience, Vinny, with networking? 'Cause I
Yeah, I mean-
asked that question to Kieran and it kind of didn't go anywhere, did it?
Yeah, massively. Like I could definitely touch on that, because my network
Yeah.
essentially has made me who I am today. I've had people lend me tens of thousands of pounds through networking that I've done, you know, like
awesome.
that have helped me in the business, you know, like, and we can definitely, I'm happy to touch on anything, you know, so just
Brilliant.
the limit's the sky, just ask me whatever, and then we can,
All right.
networking's a good one though, because it helps you as well,
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I put one. That's the idea, is that I put one network, at least one networking question
Yeah.
into.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean,
interview I
as
do.
many as you want. Like, I'm happy to answer anything. Networking has been a massive thing in my business. So, you know, creating ideas, creating, you know, wealth of people around you to help you succeed, contacts in business that, again, help you succeed.
Yeah.
So we can definitely touch on that, and I think that will benefit you
Yeah.
quite a lot. So.
Okay. So I might start off just asking you about yourself.
Yeah, of
your
course.
story
Yeah,
and,
of
like,
course.
where you- yeah, and then we'll go into
Yeah.
networking a little bit.
Cool. And then what? So I've got to completely pretend there's cameras there. Just look at you, yeah.
Yeah, you direct. I don't know.
Cool. All right. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, just
Sorry if
talk
I'm
to
asking
each other
stupid
and it's-
questions.
It's
Yeah.
fine. I mean, it
Cool.
doesn't matter if you look at the camera, it probably doesn't really matter. but
Cool.
Yeah, just talk to each
Okay.
other. And
Cool.
Yeah, and
Don't worry
don't
about what we're
and
doing.
know that like if you fuck up, it's cool because
Yeah.
you can edit it,
Cool.
And know that swearing's all right as well.
Okay.
You can swear if you want to.
Cool.
it's all good. It's all good. And like yeah, like even mess ups can like stay on film as well if they're funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay.
Cool.
Does that mean
You're on TV, Vinny.
I'm on TV on the big screen. Yeah.
No, because this
Oh.
one cuts off.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? It's cool.
See,
I bet you're so over the moon, aren't you? Yeah.
Like I'm just like happy to get started.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
was getting a bit like it's not like me to get annoyed, but I was getting a bit like I just want to get
Yeah.
going with it.
Yeah, the insulation company I've started, I've got a partner in that, and I've got to say it's not ideal. He can do stuff partially of the time, and I just feel like you put in so much work, and then you're like, I don't agree with that. And like people like us, we're like, you know, head of the pack. You know, like we are the people that make decisions, and it's difficult having a partnership. Like I just don't think I'll do it again with another business like I've got at the moment. It's just
Is that your first one?
it's first partnership, and I don't enjoy it.
How did you choose him?
He's just a good friend, and like he's got different qualities to I have. You know, I know how to run a company, and he knows the trade that we've gone into.
Which is good, which is what you'd look for. But I have heard the phrase "don't go into business with a friend." That's why I was wincing a little bit.
Yeah, I know people say that, but I've gone into business with family. You know, I've had my mum work for me for a bit.
But you're quite easygoing. but-
Yeah, exactly. I think, you know, providing the roles
Yeah.
are completely sort of clear at the start, for sure. Cool.
so, roadcaster recording. If I can get you just to speak into the mic.
Hello.
No, sorry, not speak into the mic, just speak normally.
Hello.
Vinny, take a long breath out because that relaxes
Yeah.
you. Like, or a big deep breath in, long breath out. Yeah, just like roll your shoulders back, and you're just having a conversation with Jess. It's
Yeah,
It's
cool.
all right.
Have you done a podcast before?
Never.
Have you done any video stuff before?
Never.
Okay, that's cool. Don't worry.
He's an inspiring entrepreneur. That's why I asked
Yeah,
him.
Yeah.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
It's going to be raw.
Yeah.
That's what we want,
You're
though.
cool,
Yeah.
Vinny.
Yeah, honestly,
Cool.
this isn't. You're not on the BBC.
Yeah.
And it's not this isn't like attack journalism or anything.
Yeah.
So honestly, this is the more kind of just natural and relaxed you can be,
Of course.
the better.
Excellent.
And you know, there'll probably be a couple of points where Jess will go, "Oh, I want to start that over." And then
Yeah.
she'll
If
start
I
it.
go like that means I'm like stop. and
Everyone
start
stop.
again.
Yeah, cool. Excellent. All right.
It's just easy to see in the when
Yeah.
you're editing it, when
Yeah.
you make the clapping noise, you can just
Because
see
it goes.
spike.
Zzz, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. So I might just do another intro again, just so we've got another one, just while I'm free flowing.
It's a good way to start.
Yeah.
I mean, because I used to do that. I did that.
The microphone likes you, Vinny. Go on. Sorry, what were you saying?
So sometimes it's good just to ease in as well.
Yeah,
Because you can
exactly.
say, you know, hi, welcome to,
Yeah.
and then do your little bit. You know, this is a podcast where we talk about blah blah blah, networking and
Yeah.
stuff that you want to say, and then just say, you know, on today's show we've got
Yeah.
And then you don't have to do like a massive bio.
Mm.
You know, just say.
I didn't with Kieran, did I?
No.
No.
So you can just get straight into it. But
Yeah.
I find the shorter and the quicker the better to just get to it.
Exactly, I think so
Yeah.
too, with a big impactful question.
Yeah, but you can still introduce the show because if somebody hasn't seen it,
Mm.
right, you want them to have a little bit of, 30 seconds of here's what the show is,
Mm.
and here's what it's about, and here's who it's for.
Exactly, but also I'm thinking I might actually script something and have it with a jingle.
We can do that. Yeah, that'd be perfect. And I know great people who can do that.
Hmm.
But it also helped just here. I think it might be just a good
Yeah,
intro plus a little bit
sure.
of practice
Yeah.
doing it.
Because Stephen Bartlett does that with all of his podcasts. He just does an intro every single time. I think it's really cool.
Is it the same intro or something slightly different each time?
Slightly different, but obviously there's different people, isn't there? So the
Yeah.
intro can be a bit different. Here we have, this person does that, but it's, generically the same. So.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
That's the-
So, I mean, that's what I'm
podcast
doing
format.
here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I did that on the last one, so I'll do that on this one and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. All right. I didn't introduce myself, though. That's the only... Should I introduce myself? I definitely shouldn't. Sorry. So welcome to the Networking Spark. My name is Jess White and I'm here to interview inspiring entrepreneurs. Today we've got a really amazing guest who I find inspiring. When I met Vinny Barnes, I asked him what he did. He told me he had 3 businesses and didn't run any of them himself, which at age 26 I think is pretty inspiring. So Vinny, thanks so much for being on the podcast.
Hi, Jess.
Hi. May I ask you, Vinny, where did you start in life and how has it brought you to where you are today? You're only 26, which is quite young.
Yeah. So I started, school wasn't fantastic for me. I never really got on with the school's curriculum or anything inside it really. Nothing was compatible with my skill sets or anything like that. So school wasn't great for me. From school, came up with no GCSEs, didn't really know what I wanted to do and decided that I wanted to just go into college, learn some trades, see how I got on with that. So I did. From that point onwards, I came out of college, had qualifications, but not in what I wanted to do. So my dad said to me, he said, look, you've got to get a job. I'm going to send you to the army, which really gave me a kick up the arse to really get on and do something. So I got a summer job. That was in tree surgery. Started with that. Realised quite soon that there was a lot of money to be made in it. So I learned, I got all my qualifications. I really pushed on with trying to do the best that I possibly could. And went from company to company until I got the best that I possibly could be. Then started a business, which was my first business doing that. So yeah, it was a long old journey and didn't really know what I wanted to do, but fell sort of onto my feet by learning a trade, which was really handy in the situation. And the rest for that is history. I mean,
Would you say your dad was strict?
Dad was very strict. Yeah, Dad was strict. He made me cycle to school. He made me cycle to school 7 miles there, 7 miles back because he wanted me to learn hard work. And I think it's one thing that massively we miss in the world today. I mean, it's so easy to, comfort your kids rather than really pushing them into doing something good. So yeah, I think Dad was strict. Mum was also quite strict. So it definitely gave me that sort of hard-working sort of.
Because we live in a society where it's the roles have reversed a little bit. It's gone from Victorian ages where kids were brought up in a really strict household, right? And it seems to have reversed now these days, whereas kids get to choose and the parents are very, very soft on their kids. So do you believe that having strict parents like you did, do you think that's done you a lot of good?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's definitely learnt me discipline and, I've learnt a lot from both my parents in different ways. I think the biggest thing for me is teaching people discipline is great because it works out in your life. You've got to be disciplined, whether you're driving down the road and, you know, someone's having a go at you in the road, you've got to be disciplined enough to be like, look, I'm going to let it go. And discipline going to work, making sure you're there on time, making sure you treat people fairly for what they are. And I think it's massive, you know, you have to be disciplined to do anything, especially in business. You know, it's such a big thing. You've got to be disciplined to not lose your head when things are going wrong. You know, you're going to get failures along the way. And I think in business, you have to be so unbelievably disciplined to be able to deal with the failures you get. I mean, you know, I know you experience failures a lot of the time, you know, and it's those 50 failures, but having that one success is what makes it. So, you know, it's being disciplined in every aspect of that really, really pushes you on.
Absolutely. Wise words, Vinny. Tell us a little bit about what you do, about your businesses.
So when I started my first company, which was Relief Tree Services, which was the first company I ever started, we basically sell tree services, whether it's cutting down, reducing, you know, supplying logs, anything like that. And so we started off doing that, which I really enjoyed, but I believe I'm partially lazy in the fact that I want other people to do the work so I can focus on growing it. And I think I've done that quite early on. So I started the business in 2020. So that's 4 years ago roughly now. And I just sort of went with it. I got for a year and then I got a PA on, because I didn't want to answer the phone anymore. So again, it's the laziness. And then I just got loads of staff in that could just carry out the work. And soon I realised it was making me more money not going into doing the sort of day-to-day running to the company. And then I could really focus on growing other projects, you know, things like that. And so that was the first company I started. When you take people's trees down, you usually put up a fence or, you know, lay a patio or something like that. So then instantly I sort of run into doing the landscaping as well. So we started a separate company that supplies and fits all landscaping, you know, products for customers, patios, fencing, anything along the lines, you know, of renovating gardens, we do. So
that's one just tell me, you've got 3, right?
got 3 companies,
So
yeah.
one is tree surgery.
One's landscaping, and we've recently set up a loft insulation company, which is a bit diversified, you know, going from the garden to the inside of the house. But I think there's a lot of movement on where you can go from building houses. You know, you can start off with loft conversion, then you could go into roofing, and it's all building up that wealth of knowledge. You know, we've got good people on the ground that can run it for us that are very knowledgeable. So we just sort of run the business side of it, me and one of my friends. And I think it's really good to diversify, because it teaches you such a massive change that's good, beneficial to, you know, building yourself, I think.
So you've gone from being a real hands-on person, practical person, to being the person that runs the company, to working on the business rather than in the business. Which do you prefer?
Honestly, I prefer being the man on the tools. I love being on the tools. I like being fit, healthy. So I like being busy, but I know it's not best for me. And it's so difficult as a business owner when you first start a business to sit back and go, no, I make more money on the tools, which short term you do. You know, but when I was on jobs, we were making a lot of money, a lot of high turnover with limited staff. The second I came off the tools, it's very nerve-wracking, because you're like, well, how can these people do a better job than me? But it's so egotistical to think you're the best person in the world, because I know some of my staff in some aspects of my company do a better job than me, because I will rush through it because I value it less. So I believe getting yourself from doing the day-to-day to becoming a business owner is such a massive thing, because it changes your life.
It's a huge jump that a lot of people don't manage to make, and yet you've done that. So huge congrats.
No, thank you.
If you were to, so you've come quite far quite quickly, right? Because that was 2020 and now it's 2024, and you've gone from being a hands-on person in your business to now working on your business. So what inspired, like who is your biggest inspiration for a start?
To be honest, it was probably the last company I worked for. Me and my friend Graham, He was like a dad to me. He was 45. He was good looking, big house, swimming pool, and he's got a tree surgery business that he started off again by himself, built up, and he did have one of the biggest companies in England. And so I worked for him probably 2 years, and he taught me everything I knew to start a company and go from there. But he was such a great inspiration because he said to me, I want you to live with me. I want you to be my top boy. He had, a big 9-bedroom house, which is lovely, and a swimming pool, so that's great. And so I lived with him, and he just taught me not only the best things to do in business, but he taught me really good sort of inspiration outside of business, how to hold yourself, how to carry yourself into things. And he was definitely a massive impact in my life. And I think without him, I wouldn't be where I am today. He's taught me a lot. I still call him up for advice now. So it's good. It's good. And we've had a fantastic relationship throughout.
It's good to have someone there to
Yeah, for
mentor
sure.
you, someone that you
For
can
sure.
pick up the phone to, but also someone that inspires you to get through the difficult bits as well.
Of course.
Yeah. Talking about people that inspire us, we are the sum of the people that we surround ourselves.
Absolutely.
Your network is your net worth.
Absolutely.
What's your thoughts on networking?
Yeah, I believe networking is probably one of the most powerful things you can do in business, for many reasons, but one of them being a lot of people sit in their surroundings where they're comfortable in. They sit with their friends. If you're the most successful person in your friendship group, you're never going to benefit from that. And I believe my journey with networking has been very, very good because I've surrounded myself with people generically older than me in the business environment. But I think the biggest thing is creating the connections that you need to push yourself further on in life. Because if you're sat, just say in a pub with 5 of your close friends and you're the most successful person there, you're never going to push to do any better because everyone sees you as this big figure, builds your ego up to be, look how great he or she is. And it's just not beneficial. And I think the second you start networking, you can really push yourself into an environment, first of all, out your comfort zone, but secondly, into pushing yourself into doing more, creating ideas that you wouldn't have had before. And I just believe it's a massive benefit. I wouldn't be where I am today without networking. So
what's the best connection you've ever made? It's said that, you might meet someone in networking and you think, well, I've got, there's no point in me talking to this person, but actually behind every person, there can be, 1,000 people and so many different paths and connections.
Yeah.
But in your experience of networking, what's the one sort of person that you've met that's opened so many doors?
Yeah, I mean, so when I first started my company, being a company, the industry I'm in, it requires quite a lot of capital equipment to start. So I got a lot of finance out on things, and I financed a van, I financed things, because I don't come from money, and I just thought that's a good short-term fix to my issue. Probably wasn't the best idea, but I went with it. Things started to go wrong in the business quite early on, and we were eating money quicker than we could earn it, and like most businesses do at some point of their life. And so a friend that I met through networking, who's a really, really good friend now, again, I call him Dad as well, he believed in me, and he said to me, you're going to make it. He lent me £20,000 because my van was playing up at the time. And he said to me, he's like, come round to my house. He knew what was going on. He knew the stress it was causing me. And so he said, come round to mine, we'll have a chat. When I went there, he said, look, I'm going to pay you some money now. Go and buy yourself a new van. And I just think for him to do that, to believe in me, I believe networking is what you make it. If you can converse with people and if you're a likable person, then I believe it's so impactful because you can make these connections that will last a lifetime, and it's so important. He helped me when I was down, and I mean, something that my parents couldn't do, and something that my comfort zone couldn't achieve. So it was definitely so good meeting him, having that to be able to push my business further forward out of the red. And then the rest is, just been up and up and up. So it was massive for me to network with him, to make that connection. It
sounds to me that he just believed in you.
Absolutely,
and that means the world, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And that's what you get out of networking. I mean, it's, you'll first of all create friends for life. in many different industries that are completely different to yours, you will also benefit so much financially through them for each other. It's not just a one-way street. They're benefiting, you're benefiting, because you can inspire each other to do so much more.
I mean, you and I have met each other through
We have,
networking,
yeah.
really, through a
We have.
mastermind,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I think it's amazing to meet people. Sometimes when you've got an entrepreneurial mindset and you're surrounded by people that maybe do the 9 to 5, or not being derogatory here at all, but you meet those people around you are like, well, why are you so driven? But then when you go and meet other people who are as driven as you and have got that same mindset, then you inspire each other, and it's really cool, I think. And that's what I love about networking, is to meet other business owners. And although we might do completely different things, I mean, you go up, or you did go up trees and with chainsaws, and I teach yoga, which is totally different. But although it's two different things, there's this mutual connection of like, okay, I was saying earlier today that pretty much every entrepreneur I've met has had struggles in life, like massive struggles or massive trauma, and often has not fit into that box in school, and often has come out with no qualifications. But the most amazing thing is that they've gone and proven to those naysayers that have said you've got to get qualifications that actually you can be successful without them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. What would your tips be to someone much younger than you that's kind of struggling a little bit?
I believe the biggest thing you've got to do is take it one step at a time. I mean, it's so daunting when people say starting a business, you have to do this. It's so daunting. And, I started when I was working for someone else for probably 3 years. So I probably started essentially my company when I was 19. And as we know, start now, perfect later. And it's on the weekends I was doing my own business, own jobs. And, there was no legitimacy behind it, but I was providing a service to people. And, I started that, and it went from strength to strength. I was doing one job a week, and then it was 2 jobs a week. So I was working 7 days a week. And I believe providing, if you're good at something and you can do it professionally, I thought, why not just start? You can still work a job, and you can do that on the side if you want to. We've all got, choices in life, and we've all got the same 24 hours. And I think providing you can capture what you want to do, and you've got the first few steps, I mean, all you've got to be able to do is start pushing towards it. Whether you register a company and do it the other way to how I done it, which is probably the sensible option. But I just thought, I'm good at what I do. I can rent a van. I can rent any machinery I needed. So why not just go out and do it? So on the weekends, every single week, I would go out at least a Saturday, sometimes a Sunday, go and provide people the service. And I got to the point where I was like, I'm sure I can do this all the time. I can just quite easily just do this the whole time. I had good staff. I had good people around me that were willing to help me. Like I said to you, the guy that I met, Graham, who's like a father figure to me, he was more than happy to help me with anything I needed. So he would give me advice on how to do it and the best steps to take. And I think providing you get advice from people within your industry, that's a really, really good tip, I think, because it really, that will push you on. If you don't know, if you don't plan, you plan to fail, don't you? So it's a big thing getting the right advice before you start business.
Finding people in the industry that you want to be in.
For sure.
Finding mentors to
For
guide
sure.
you, which is,
Massive,
what's happened with you.
Yeah.
Would you do anything differently, Vinny, looking
Yes,
back?
loads. I think probably less rash decisions. I'm a very Grant Cardone mindset, risk everything for the benefit. And I used to be much more than I am now. But I think that's, you partially need that to start a business. I think that's a really, really good mindset to have to start a business, but it's not economical. It's not very good to sort of maintain that. So, yeah, I think that is important to sort of touch on, because it's something I would definitely change.
Yeah, because as the CEO of your business, you have to change and adapt as you grow. You have to grow with your
absolutely,
business. So what what initially sets you up as a founder, as a startup, which is making those daring decisions, might not necessarily be able to carry on. You have to change your mindset, right?
Yeah, of course.
Go on. Don't be so polite.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's loads of other things. I mean, maintaining staff. Obviously, when you go from having a job to becoming a business owner, and you've all of a sudden got these people around you in a professional environment, and if they don't perform, it affects you massively. I believe I'm quite a tough boss. People don't necessarily like working for me, but I don't think that's always a bad thing. But certainly when I started, I wasn't capable in a professional manner to manage people. So that was a big step for me to try and learn. Again, from networking, that's, you learn how to deal with people. You learn how to really converse with people in a way that's not patronizing in some ways. And, you know, you have to, there's so many skills that you do when you start, when you go from working a 9 to 5 to a business owner that you can change. I could go on about all day, but I think definitely people skills is one of them. And obviously just risk taking, minimize that once you start.
So why do people not like working for you?
I'm just difficult to work for. I expect people to work extremely hard for the time they are with me. I believe I'm a good person. I always look after the people who work for me. I pay them very well, but in turn they get paid to work very hard. So it's a bit of both. It's just I'm difficult to a certain extent to work for, just because it is quite full on.
Is that because you want people to meet your standards?
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that I will ever go by is providing the best possible service. You know, if people aren't working hard, how can they provide a good service? And that's one thing, you know, especially my dad always taught me, you know, cycling to school, you're going to have to work for that before you get it, you know. And I'd be like, I don't want to go to school. And Dad'd be like, you're going to cycle to school and I'm going to call your teachers when you're there. Just so I could get into school. And he just wanted to drive into me that you're about to go into an adult lifestyle where it's not school. You know, you're not given your lunch break. It's not paid for. You're about to go into a difficult world and you need to meet the standards of what the world will give to you, because otherwise it'll smack you in the face, as you know, we all know.
Yeah.
It's a difficult thing.
Do you think people have it too easy in the UK?
Definitely. I think all of Western society, you know, is too easy on people. You know, you're brought up with the mindset that you shouldn't, essentially your kids and stuff are, you know, usually in charge of the parent, and, you know, if you do this, you know, I'll get you a treat on the way home. But I'm very much in the mindset of ultimately the child should be disciplined and they should behave anyway. You know, I see some parents that are really strict on their kids, and some people don't like that, but it works. You know, you get the best out of your children, you know, not feeding them sugar constantly, otherwise they're really hyper and then they crash. And it's, you know, there's so many things that we can all learn from, you know, watching other people do good things to like benefit our lifestyle. And when you've got good kids, they grow up to be good people, I think. And, you know, providing you're strict and disciplined with them, they always grow up with the correct values, I think. So
how many children are you going to have, Vinny?
Depends on how successful I am. I'd love to have eight, but it's, yeah, I mean.
You need to be strict then.
I know, yeah, that's the thing. It's, yeah, I'd love to have 8 children, but I think reality, it's going to be 2 or 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
8. Amazing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on money? Do you think money makes you happy?
Yeah. I think everyone should earn more money. I mean, I've been at the bottom of the food chain, and I'm not saying I've done, you know, amazingly well, but, you know, I've had money as well, and I enjoy going on holiday. And I don't think anyone can say they're not happy when they're on holiday. It's just, you know, it's what people do to have fun, and you need money in life. You know, everything is so expensive. So you've got to be able to sort of push the boundaries. And it's bad to see, but the amount of poverty in this country, or in any Western country, is massive, because people only earn the breadline. You know, whether they're paying rent payments, car payments, you know, paying off credit card, they've got this much at the end of it. And I think it's so important to push yourself out of your comfort zone to either start a business or grow a business, to make sure that you've got enough money to push forward, because all it takes is for that small change in your life, whether you push to get 10% better out of your business or push to start that business, you know, it'll change your life straight away. Because 3 or 4 years ago, I probably went on one holiday a year, which skinted me. And now I probably over holiday, but I enjoy holidays. And, now I can go on holiday whenever I want.
I know someone that doesn't like going on holiday. Rob Moore.
Rob Moore.
Yeah.
Probably not.
Hates
no.
holidays.
Yeah.
But I agree with you.
Yeah.
I love holidays too.
Yeah.
Or just to be able to travel and have a mobile lifestyle as well.
Of course.
To have the freedom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what essentially earning more money
certainly
means.
Yeah.
And being successful.
I think as well, just pushing on that is, I think once you've got a point where you can send teams out or have people passively earning you income, you get so much more time to do stuff for you. I mean, like, whether it's another business you want to start or whether you're happy with the income you already earn, once you've got people to passively do that for you, you can really do what you want to. Just say you want to go for a coffee at lunchtime, you can. Whereas in a 9 to 5, you're told when you have your breaks. You're told when you go home, you're told when you get there. And that never really worked for me. I mean, I was always disciplined, always went to work, always made sure I turned it up. I still do now. But I think it's so regimented. It's nice to have a bit of your life back and to be like, if you want to go out, say on a Wednesday, you can go out on a Wednesday,
So the threat of being in the army, is like being told what to do every single day.
Yeah.
Obviously did it for you because it gives you freedom running your own business in a way.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. I mean, the army for me, I would have probably loved it. I would have probably absolutely loved the army because I do enjoy being hands-on. I do enjoy having a regimented life. But the army's just, I don't know, it's difficult. I know people that are in the army and they say it's a difficult lifestyle to lead. But I respect everyone that's in the army. I think it's a great thing to do. But for me, it just wasn't, having someone shouting at you, telling you what to do. I prefer to be the person shouting at someone, telling them what to do.
It was a good motivation to sort your shit out by the sounds of things.
Absolutely, yeah, of course.
Vinny, what drives you? What's your passion? What drives you in life?
It's a really good question. What really drives me is I want to be the best that I possibly can be to leave a good legacy for if I have any children. I want my kids to look at me and go, that's my dad over there. Oh, is that your dad? That sort of thing. I love that. And to have, I respect my parents completely and fully, but I think it's nice to have, you remember school, you'd see the parent turn up in a really nice car and everyone go, wow, whose dad's that? Just to be that cool parent and set a good example for your kids. And I think family's a big thing for me. I'm massive on family, doing things for family. And I think to have that is just that next level and be able to provide for them, be able to take them on holidays, make them more of a rounded person is such a big thing for me. So, that's really my main driver.
And even if we're not talking about children, being an inspiration to, to someone that's younger than you that might be listening on this podcast, right? What advice would you give to someone that's maybe really wants to be successful but might not totally believe in themselves, might be lacking in confidence?
We all do that at the best of times. You must have had a point in your mind where you thought, is this a bit too much for me? Have I bitten off more than I could chew? I've definitely had that loads of times. And I think if you don't know, you will never know. And I think if you don't do it now, you're risking everything because the only people that really are the biggest risk takers are the people that do nothing at all. And I think, personally, if I had taken no risks in my life, I would probably still be going on the one holiday a year, skint.
Yeah.
Not doing anything in my life, not getting anywhere. And I think it's so important to really, really just try and push. And if something doesn't work out, don't quit first time because, like I said earlier, you can have 50 failures and one success, but that one success is the thing that really makes you. And, people that fail 10 times usually give up, but it could be the 11th time you win, So it's so important for young people to understand and really believe in themselves and just push forward because no pain, no gain. You've got to really push yourself out your comfort zone to get anywhere in life. I think it's such a big thing for me.
And sometimes those failures can be a lesson, right? Sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah, of course. I think, I try and learn from every failure, and self accountability is something that I was not very good at doing before. That's one thing I didn't say. And trying to realise where you failed and trying to make it so it doesn't happen again I actually really enjoy doing it now. I never enjoyed it when I first started a company, because I'd be like, oh, this has happened because of that. And it, most of the time it hasn't. You've put the person in that position. You've done this, you've done that. And I think it's so good to be accountable for everything you do. Possibly.
Do you believe in philanthropy, giving back?
Massively. It's a big thing for me. I believe in giving back. I want to help people. I was actually going to put a thing up on my Facebook about how we can help people to start and grow a company. I was going to do this completely free of charge, and I really want to make as many people around me have the best opportunities in life. And I think that only comes from having business, because we live in a world where you go to the shops and that apple that used to be 30p is now £1, and it's, I think personally you have to have a business in this day and age to actually succeed. And there's so much to it that you've just got to network. You've got to make sure that you make not rash decisions, but make decisions to benefit your life. Whether they do or not, it doesn't matter, because if you fail, you gain knowledge. But yeah, it's so important.
What would you say, as someone that owns 3 businesses and is doing pretty well, at your age, what is your biggest strength and what's your biggest weakness?
My strength is my drive. I can work 24 hours a day, every single day, if I wanted to. And probably my people management is still not fantastic. I need to get better at managing people. That's one thing I'd really like to sort of learn, and by the end of the year be much better at. But yeah, definitely, I think my drive is something that I really sort of respect in myself, and that's something, again, I have to thank my dad for, because I wouldn't have that if it wasn't for him. So
that's really nice. If you close your eyes and look into the future in 10 years' time, what would you like to see?
I would like to see... That's a good question. I don't know. I would like to probably have a few businesses that run themselves. I'd like to have a nice house, nice family. And I would probably like to just have some nice cars, be able to go on holiday when I want. Same thing now, but just bigger and better. So that's, what I'd like to happen in 10 years, really.
Cool. And what would your top tips be, Vinny, for those that are just starting out in business? We're talking about personal development, healthy habits to put in every day, and tips to build a business. You can have as many as you like, but what would they be if you're teaching someone?
I think the best thing to have is to be driven, and mindset is massive. To have a good mindset and to be positive, because I think in this day and age, it's so easy to have a bad mindset, especially if you're in the pub with those same 5 friends, to sit there and, if they're down, you're down. Oh, we can't make rent payments, so on and so forth. And I think to have a positive mindset and to manifest things is such a big thing for me. I mean, I wake up every single morning and I look in the mirror and I tell myself it's going to be a successful day, because I want it to be a successful day. And you've already won past that point, because you've told yourself and you have that smile. And I wouldn't do it in front of anyone, because I think it's, but it's nice. It's nice to do that, and every single morning to have that, because before you've even done anything, you've already had your first success, I think. And it's important to, mindset is so important, and just to be driven, just to be consistently driven. It might be one thing to work 5 hours at something and be driven in within those 5 hours, but you need to at least dedicate, rather than 5 hours and don't do anything for a month, 1 hour a day. Everyone's got an hour a day.
What's it take? So somebody asked me yesterday, why am I so driven? What do you think it means being driven? And if you're not driven, then why would you want to be driven if you're comfortable in the comfortable?
Yeah, I think that's right. To be driven is just to be able to do something, and rather than sat at home watching Netflix. And some people enjoy that. I mean, I enjoy it every now and then. I don't really watch a lot of TV, because I think there's better things to do. And, you know, you've got to find out what you're actually passionate about. You know, some people aren't driven towards money, but they might be driven towards their kids. And I think it's really good to have drive and passion about the things you do. And for me, it's business. So, you know, I'm very driven. A lot of people tell me that also. I know you're very driven. But it's just to have that passion about something that really makes you light up. It's so important in life, again, for mindset, because, you know, if you sit in your comfort zone and you go home and you watch a different Netflix series and you've watched all of the series on Netflix or all of the videos on Netflix, essentially, I think, you know, it's a little bit of a waste of life, because there's so many good things to do in this world, and so many good people out in the world, and so many good connections you can make, and just, you know, meeting people, achieving goals is so important. You're never going to do that sat at home.
Did you ever struggle with your confidence when you were younger, or have you always been super confident?
Yeah, always been quite confident. I mean, I believe it or not, when I was younger, I was really fat. So, but I was still confident. I was quite a fat child, and but I've always just been confident. I've always thought confidence for me was never really an issue, just because I was
your natural way?
just natural way. But I believe, you know, even if you're not, you can make yourself confident, because the second you push yourself out there, I mean, you know, like meeting new people and getting out of your comfort zone is massive. Like, I'm not half as confident, I'm far more confident than I was 4 years ago, because of what I've done in business and networking events and things like that. I think it's so important. I mean, the first time I met you, obviously at a networking event, you know, I'd never met you before, and now we're friends. And I think it's really good to push on these things where the connections you make, you know, last a lifetime, you know, if you use them well. So,
For sure.
yeah.
For sure. So, what sort of legacy do you want to leave? I think we might have touched upon this, but if we're not speaking about children, if we're talking about what impact you want to have on the world,
Yeah.
or is that a bit too?
No,
big
it's
of a
not at all.
question?
Not at all. No, it's a good question. I would like to have a business that changes things. I would like to have, I know we spoke about this earlier, I'm starting up a clothing brand at the moment, which I can't say too much about because of copyright and trademark at the moment, but
Congrats anyway.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, so I'd like to leave a legacy within the business world that, you know, leaves a stamp on people's lives, for sure. And just create something that really is good and people recognise as good, I think, would be nice. The tree surgery and the landscaping and the insulation businesses are great, but they're not life-changing. I really want to do something that is life-changing and something that can really make an impact on people, public people that I've never met before, which we do at the moment, but on a very small scale. I'd like to multiply on what we've got now, doing something else that people can use in their sort of day-to-day life.
Awesome. Daily habits, do you think they're important?
Massive.
And what are yours?
Massive. Daily habits. Wake up, same time every day. Make sure you go to work. Make sure you, just have a good mindset every single day.
Waking up's a good one, Vinny.
Waking up's a very good one. Yeah, waking up and just being positive in yourself.
Yeah, awesome. And just being positive. Do you think sometimes you have to put, you know, people that drag you down? What do you do with them?
I listen to everything I'm told, and I used to talk a lot more than I listened, and I've found out that listening's far better, because as you're educated, people that try and bring you down will always try and bring you down. And that's what I found through friendships, through starting companies. You learn who your friends are massively. You know, do they share your posts? You know, it's free to share a post. Do they do that? Quite a lot of the time they don't, because people don't like to see other people succeed. They'll try and drag you down. But this actually goes back to obviously connecting with new people. Is when you put yourself in a situation when you're the least successful person in the room, you're in the best advantage, because you have a situation where no one can bring you down. They just want to build you up. So it's so important to be around with people that are better than you, because I believe it pushes you to do far better things. I've got some really good friends who I go out with frequently, and we all met each other through business, and they've helped me massively. I've helped them, and I think it's a really good relationship, because we've all got a generic interest, which is business. And, you know, they were far better off, far further in business, and they've helped me to get where I am now. So I believe it's so important to...
Yeah, again, coming back to the people you surround yourselves with, right? Because at Spark, we form this community where we lift each other up all the time. And I share, you know, we always share each other's posts and talking about raising the vibration, right, all the time, because the people you surround yourself with are super important. And every day I say it's collaboration over competition.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
And that can speak volumes about somebody as well.
Of course.
If they are in a space and they just want to be the only person that does that, then what does it say about that person?
Exactly, yeah, of course. And I think it's good to have some competition because it always pushes you on further, but friendly competition rather than negative competition is always, you know, I mean, I'm a group of friends with a lot of other business owners, and some of them have got new businesses, some of them have been established for years. But one thing we all bring to the table is if somebody's doing something, it's always good to compete with them. So if somebody takes on a new project and it's a big project, thinking, where's my next project coming from? And having it friendly. I mean, we'd all sit for a meal, go out and help each other out, but we all push each other on as well. And I think it's so important to have that where you can... even if they're in the same industries, you know, you can push them forward and you can help each other out, because ultimately, especially if they're in the same industry, you don't want that negative competition with people. You want to be making sure that you're using that person to the best of your advantage, and same goes to the other side, you know, because you can. If you're in the same industry, you know the same things, you can help each other, and it's really important to do that.
Awesome, Vinny. Well, congratulations on everything that you're doing.
Thank you.
Last question, what's the meaning of life?
Meaning of life. I'm going to have to say legacy again. I'm going to have to say legacy. I think by the time I get put 6 foot under in a sort of wooden box, I want to have people for generations' time remembering who I was. I think that's the most important thing for me.
Awesome. I'm going to ask you one last question. Sorry,
Yeah,
one
that's
last
fine.
one. Do you believe in manifesting?
Absolutely. Massively. I think every single day people should wake up and tell themselves something in the mirror. It's something that I actually learned just through an influencer that I watch. And I think it's so important to wake up in the morning at the same time every single day, whether it's weekends, you can obviously have a little bit of a lie-in, but wake up and tell yourself what you're going to do in that day. Whether it's different every day, whether it's the same thing, I think it's important to make sure that you do manifest something every single day, because 4 years ago, I manifested my success in business, and I would never have believed it was where it is now if I didn't tell myself that it's going to be like that.
It's powerful
Massively.
because you tell yourself that thing and you
Yeah.
become that thing, but you've got
course.
to tell yourself first.
Oh, absolutely.
Believe
yeah.
it
Otherwise
and
it'll
then
never
become it.
happen.
Hmm?
Yeah. Otherwise it will never happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Vinny, thank you very, very, very much for
No,
being
thank you.
on
Thank you.
the Networking Spark. It's been awesome to meet you.
And you.
And yeah, that's it. Thank you
Excellent.
so much.
Thank you.
All right. It's hot underneath these lights. Next time I'm not going to wear a jumper, man.
God.
That was good.
Nerves over, was it?
That was good.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
really
Excellent.
good, Vinny.
Thank
Well
you. Thank you.
done.
I think you helped me out on a couple of occasions.
You did good.
Excellent,
You did
thank you.
good. Hey.
It was a little longer, I think,
Yeah.
than the other one, but
Was
I let
it?
it go because the conversation was really good. So I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't want to
Yeah.
like give her a 5-minute or anything, because I was like, let's just see where. It
Yeah,
goes.
for sure.
So I just kept
Yeah.
going. So, yeah, it was
I didn't realise it was longer.
yeah. It
Cool.
felt like it was a little longer. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Hey, yeah.
2, 1. And again, 3, 2, 1.
Excellent. Can you do a couple of mine, and I'll tag obviously the Spark in, and I'll tag you in it as well if you want.
That's a pose, Vinny. Do the pose. I can't pose.
3, 2, 1.
Smile.
3, 2, 1.
Find your spark. Find that spark. Love it.
Excellent. Perfect. Thank you.
One thing you said was really interesting when you were talking about having people better than you in your business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
the thing is,
thank
you. Gotta
you.
remember is when you
Cool.
own a business or you're a manager, your job is
Nice.
to hire people that
I
can
love
do
that.
something you can't
Exactly that. Exactly
Because if
that.
Can I
if you're the
airdrop
one
that?
Can do it better than anyone else.
Yeah.
You're in trouble.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right?
That's the
Like,
thing.
You've got to have people that are better
Yeah.
than
My
you.
phone
And
there.
it's- You're right. It is an ego thing.
It's
at
a
the beginning.
massive.
You've got to get over it, and it's like as soon as you have a couple people like that, and you've done that a couple
Yeah.
times, you just start to go, okay, yeah, this is the way.
Exactly, but also I think one thing that people it's like an untold rule in business that no one talks about, and it's having that ego holds you back so far because you won't get someone else to do that
Yeah.
job, or you won't get like I'm not particularly good with my phone. I'm not very good at answering phone, as Jess knows.
Just a bit.
Um,
I was like, yesterday I was sending about like 20 messages over the last 2 days. You are going to show up, aren't you?
Oh, Jess, I'd never let you down. I'd never let you down. But yeah, so I mean, it's crazy why no one talks about it because it's one of the biggest things I think that holds people back.
Yeah.
So
It's the same in management of a big
yeah,
company.
of course,
Like managers get so weird about hiring people because they're I
good.
don't know if they're
Yeah.
worried that they think they're going to take their
Yeah.
job or whatever, but it's
Yeah.
like, dude, your job is to hire good people.
Of course.
And if you hire good people,
Yeah.
then your managers, that's their job is to, right? Like
Yeah,
it makes
exactly.
everybody
There's
look
another
good.
one.
Yeah, of course.
You know.
No, it's the same.
Two other businesses.
There's a guy,
Yeah,
there was a, so I saw on LinkedIn, a guy posted that I knew from ages ago. I hadn't seen him in years. I hired him in 2004.
Yeah.
He's still working at the same company, basically in the same team. But he's-
Crazy.
I mean, he's gone up and he's now
Yeah.
a senior manager in that team.
Yeah.
But he's been at the same company for 20 years.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that was a good hire.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. It's and also for the company as well, how much money they've made
Yeah.
over those 20
Well, saved,
years.
yeah,
of
just not
course.
having to hire 15 people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the
You know.
thing. And also, I think the biggest cost in our business is hiring new people. We have a very high turnaround in generic labourers because that's just what happens. It's something that can't really be helped. I've tried, but we have systems in place to try and keep them there as long as possible, but
Yeah.
they generically go quite quickly. So it's just trying to keep those people. But when you've kept someone for a long time, it's perfect because you don't have to retrain them. They just know
Exactly.
they know the system every single time, and you don't have
Yeah.
to train them. And because that's the thing I hate in my business is training people constantly.
Yeah.
It's with people that are going to benefit you for a long time, you don't mind.
Yeah.
But when it's high turnaround staff, it's obviously difficult to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good.
But you're right, yeah. That's one of the biggest issues people have to get over.
So that was fairly successful. I mean, you've done this a lot, haven't you?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was
That's
good, man.
good.
Very good,
yeah.
very good.
So you look totally natural.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. It's
The
crazy.
presence is built for TV.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. It's crazy. It's a lovely studio. We were saying that before. It's cool, isn't it? It's very homely. It
Yeah.
makes you feel relaxed, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's good.
The TV wall does it.
Yeah, the media one.
Yeah. That's
And
cool.
again, next time, your logos can literally go up there as well.
Yeah,
when you-
or whatever,
That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be really good. You've
We
taken
did talk about that quickly for about 5 minutes in the beginning, and then we were like, tonight.
for example, we had someone on from the one show.
Nice.
That looks really good.
Yeah, yeah.
No way. That's cool.
Yeah, and then another group.
It's good.
That's so smart. Yeah, that's cool.
do all of this, I think. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, it's fun.
I need to, now, make it make money
Yeah.
so that it pays for itself,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's
Yeah,
that's
so
true.
Kieran's got like 38,000 followers and he's big on social media, so hopefully can kind of help
That's
me
cool.
boost.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I was big on saying, right, this is our first one,
Yeah.
because hopefully that'll give it a boost. And then I'm
Yeah.
just going to mix it up and just keep going. But I want to get 10 done
Yeah.
and then launch.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Yeah. So have you got experience with launching and stuff?
Well, I've done my own.
That's what I mean. Yeah, and you've done okay.
Well,
How
I've
many-
done. I mean, I say that, but I've worked for nearly 20 years in digital marketing and analytics and that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
yeah, I kind of have an idea of how to
cool. I see the start of a beautiful partnership, David. Sounds
like
good.
it.
Yeah. So we've got 15 minutes now. Should
Yeah.
we do a little something with you in
Yeah, let's
Is
do.
that okay?
Yeah, can we just do a quick one?
Yeah. Vinny, you're gonna stick around, aren't you?
happy.
Cool.
Actually, it's more for her.
Okay.
So yeah, you may want to turn that one back. I don't know, but
Am I right just popping out quickly?
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah, cool.
Go for it. I mean, you don't have to stay.
That's right, no, I'm happy. I'm happy.
All right.
Cool.
You know how to get back in, Vinny?
No.
No. We'll just
Someone let me in.
yeah, sure. Or just call.
Yeah,
and we
cool.
can- Okay. Callum, you've made this like really, really cool as well with the
so
thank you
those
so much.
questions at the bottom, just have
Yes.
a quick read through.
Oh,
Those were
yeah.
the things I was just going to ask quickly.
Great. Yeah, that's fine.
Because what we can do is we can cut that up into a channel trailer almost.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What sorts of guests we have on the show? How to new episode once a week. Cool. Great. Yep.
So it's just an intro to Spark in the
Yeah,
beginning. So
yeah.
what is Spark?
Yeah, and do I look here or like
No,
do I
we'll
look
just-
to you? Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll just
Okay.
keep chatting.
All right. Bless him. You could tell he was a bit nervous to begin with, but he's like he relaxed in the end. Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
I mean, he
Good.
looked fine.
Yeah. Good. Good. My
So-
first two guests.
Yeah.
I know. I've got
Impressive first two guests.
awesome. That's
Did you
good
meet
to
them
hear.
in
Actually,
Rob
you know
Moore's
Yeah.
mastermind?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I've got like a massive network at my fingertips, but then also my Spark network. I'm going to be interviewing my members as well. Yeah,
You got to have him on next.
Rob Moore.
Yeah.
He said he will.
You
He's,
gotta do it,
he,
'cause
I,
you mentioned it in both of them already.
yeah, I asked him for sponsorship as well, and he said when I've done my first 100, no, when I've got 100,000 downloads or something like that, then he'll sponsor me.
Okay.
So there's the challenge.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this documentary interview style, so I'm going to put the chair there,
Okay.
I think, and then you can
Yeah.
talk to me this way.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it won't be directly into the camera, but at least
Yeah.
you talk to me and then it'll be better. I think
Yeah.
that'll work better.
I like that.
Because I'm not really the one to do it. Do you want some water as well?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Shoots.
Well, I do have some actually.
I took the last one,
I've
That's
got
all right.
some.
Do you have
I've got a
some?
wee bit there. I'll just
Yeah,
have a
wait a
little
minute.
sip.
but I still have to go to the shop. So whilst you're
No,
doing
no,
this,
I've got some as well, so
Yeah.
I can.
now
I'll just put it in a glass.
I still need to top up.
Do
So
you want some more?
I'm going to hit record.
He wants to go. Thank you. Shake your hands.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right. So, thank you.
We don't talk about my shaking hands.
Oh, okay.
It's just because I'm old.
Okay.
I think
So,
that'll work better.
what microphones are these?
Rode Procasters.
They're good. I have a Rode at home and then I have an SM7B at work. I like the Rode.
Yeah,
I like the
I
SM7B
wanted
as
to
well.
get the little square one that you clip on for when I was teaching yoga.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, cool. Okay.
Rode Me, or the Rode Go.
Yeah, the Go, I think.
All right.
Then I'm going to hit record
Okay.
now. And record over here. And
Hi Jess, how you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, very good. I just wanted to have a quick chat. Maybe you could describe for me what Spark is?
So, Spark. Firstly, the name is quite personal to me because it came from my son.
Okay.
I began this business and I knew I needed to come up with a name for it very quickly. And I knew also that you can spend days and days and days coming up with a name. And I've got an amazing son who has had a struggle from the day he was born, frankly, but he's just the most amazing soul, and I knew he was the right person to ask. And I said, what do you think I should call this business? And he said, Spark Your Life, or something along those lines. And I was like, yes, I like the start of that. Spark. It's going to be Spark Business Networking. And so Spark Business Networking is first of all, it's getting people to find their inner spark, what lights you up, what inspires you to build the best business, to be the best version of yourself in life and business. And it's about community. So it's getting lots of entrepreneurs, lots of business owners in the same room to inspire each other and to come up with ideas. Now, only 4 years ago, live events were dead, so to speak. We had COVID. Everything stopped. And people really thought that there weren't going to be any more live events for a long time. They thought it was all online from here on. But when I began Spark in 2022, November 2022, I did my first live event, which is essentially business networking to help business owners find new customers, connections, collaborations, inspiration. It just went off with a bang, and everyone said, wow, this is amazing. You do things differently. This isn't a boring networking event as some of them can be. This isn't an online event as we've got so used to. This is really cool. It's networking with a difference. It's looks networking. When I did my first events, in fact, I did it the same way for the first year. You would walk in, be given something really beautiful to drink, have some beautiful canapes made by a local chef, the drinks made by a local cocktail company. There was mocktails, of course, as well. And there would be speakers talking about something that would inspire the audience or would give back. And so it was networking, but so much more. And that's what we do. We're a networking company, but we're so much more. We provide training, inspiration, community. And it's gone from there. And I began by just doing one event and seeing how that went. And everyone said, this is brilliant. You've got to do more. We want more. And the testimonials were so good, it's driven me forward to create more. And so I haven't stopped since then.
Excellent. And
Sorry, 1 second.
Yeah.
Outside, I just want to make sure he's in.
yeah, that's fine. Just pause for a second.
Shall I clap? Okay. No, it's all good.
Just there, yeah.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sorry, this one shouldn't take 2 minutes. So, Jess, how did you go from being a yoga instructor to having the idea to doing networking? It seems like a very different type of activity.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's a very different activity. However, when I was teaching yoga classes, my clients would come on a regular basis, and after yoga, they would then go for breakfast, go for coffee, and they would start to connect with each other and gradually over time build relationships with each other. And I saw clients of mine becoming business partners, or even hiring family members, hiring their children, and just all these connections from doing a yoga class together and then going for coffee afterwards. It was building relationships. So really, it wasn't a huge jump from running yoga classes and yoga retreats to creating networking events. It's just minus the yoga, that's all.
We can look forward to that in the future. So what's the goal of the Networking Spark podcast?
The podcast, the Networking Spark, the goal of this is to inspire other people. I have people very close to me. My nephew, for instance, who is really talented, has so much going for him, but I feel like he's kind of stuck in a place and not surrounded by the right sorts of people. And I think people can get stuck very easily and just do the same thing. And one thing I learned that drives me on is that life is really short, and you've got to realize that to go out and do what you want to do, because often it takes something traumatic for somebody to go, oh my gosh, what am I doing from day to day? Like, I'm just living life and expecting everything to come to me. Whereas you need to go out and create. You need to go and be the best version of you. You need to get to the end of your life and not have any regrets. So the aim of the podcast is to speak to inspiring individuals, entrepreneurs, business owners who are going out there and creating and doing that, and to give inspiration and tips to others that are building a business or wanting to start a business, to inspire them and to remind them that failure is not the end. Sometimes it's a lesson, and it's always worth persevering. So I guess it's inspiration, if we put it to one answer.
Okay. And who should listen?
Anyone that wants to do, create something in life. Anyone that wants to be the best version of themselves. Anyone that wants to find inspiration or find role models. And anyone that wants to learn. So the people that shouldn't listen are the people that are comfortable not growing, are the people that just want to do the 9 to 5 and to go home and watch TV. Those people shouldn't listen. But the people that want to really become the best versions of themselves and to create a legacy and to build and to inspire, those are the sorts of people that should listen.
Okay, excellent. And I know you touched on this, but what sorts of guests will you have on the show?
So the sorts of guests I will have on the show are inspirational business owners, people that are ahead of their game, people that take a real interest in growing themselves to be the best versions of themselves, and people that have something to give that others can learn from.
Brilliant. And how often can people expect new episodes?
So we'll be doing new episodes every week, so once a week. For sure. There's so many people out there to talk to, so many stories to be told. So, yeah, absolutely, once a week.
And any final words?
Life is short. Find your spark, find your passion from within you. Let it drive you. And don't ever hold back. If something scares you, then good. Jump in with 2 feet and go do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway.
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yes, claps. Thanks, guys.
That's so cool.
Start. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Loved it.
Awesome.
Cool. Thanks, Vince, for being a part of it.
Yeah.
Woo! Hot. I bet it gets hot here in the middle of the summer. Huh? Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can have a fan just as
You know what? We actually have air conditioning going on right now.
Oh.
And we have vents as well. But I have a sneaky suspicion, my production manager, he's messed around with the settings because it used to be like so cool in here.
Yeah, right.
Like extremely cool, yeah.
Freezing.
And now it's like, oh my God.
Yeah. Every studio I've ever, well, when you go in,
Yeah.
it's always freezing in there, and you're like, oh my God, what is going on? And you're like, it's like, yeah, wait 10 minutes.
Yeah, wait till the lights come on. Wait till the lights come on. You know the
It'll be
difference.
fine. Even these aren't, these aren't bad,
Yeah.
right? Like, these are the LED ones, aren't they? So they're not, yeah, it's not even nearly as bad as it could be.
Yeah.
Those the old lights, man.
No,
And especially
I'm certainly not moaning. I'm just saying I'm hot.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant experience. Great studio you've got here. I will be back, definitely.
So
So
cool, yeah.
thank you, Callum. That was really, really cool. Thank you, David.
This is amazing. I'm so happy because I created a studio for people just like you.
Oh,
It's like, yeah, you guys are here, finally.
good. And you're doing what you want to do, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to be surrounded and motivated and inspired by fellow entrepreneurs.
Awesome.
So this is like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah. Are you from Bromley yourself?
I'm originally from Purley.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I moved to Crystal Palace area, like Annerley,
Yeah.
in the last year basically.
Okay.
So new to the area.
Well, I'll see you again soon. Can I give you something for the Prosecco?
As in,
No, do you bill me?
oh no, that's fine, that's fine.
Yeah, no, thank you. That was a great suggestion. I like it. I mean, it was kind of my suggestion, and then you went, yeah. So, which is good. Yeah, really funny because it was something I suggested in the podcasting course that I did it.
Okay.
Do you do that for your guests? Because it maybe puts people at ease.
100%.
And then I started sitting down and having a conversation with a fitness trainer, and I was like, what we're doing with Prosecco. But it was good. It went
Just
really
let
well.
me know beforehand what your guests would like to drink,
Yeah.
and I'll make sure I stock up.
Oh,
Maybe smoothies for the health and fitness.
Yeah.
I think
got
it
my
was
pro-
totally fine.
You know what? I should have actually brought in the protein shake and just had it somewhere there because we do have protein shake.
Protein shakes
Yeah.
are so good.
Or should I say protein powder? That's what I have.
No, my kid
Yeah.
was trying to get me to have protein powder in
Yeah.
cereal, and I'm like, you know,
I have it,
it's
I have it in my
horrid.
Greek yogurt.
Okay.
Greek yogurt
Yeah.
in there, maple syrup, stir it around.
Yeah, with maple syrup,
Yeah.
maybe.
You have to have maple syrup.
The other thing, I always make it with milk, not water.
Yes.
So much nicer
Oh,
with milk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whole milk.
Depends
Yeah.
on the
So much
protein
nicer.
powder, though. I think because
Yeah.
some of them are like super sweet,
Yeah.
yeah, or
Oh.
chocolatey.
I don't know. Yeah,
Oh,
she
I do
always
too.
better with milk.
Thank you.
But yeah, I have got a Hue. I don't drink it anymore. 'Cause I'm like, it's a bit grim, but it's the nicest one I've tried. I've tried quite a few.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll try. Well,
Yeah.
I'll speak to you again soon. I'm
Yeah,
sure I'll be back
definitely.
again for sure. So that was great. Thank you so much. I've
Thank
got an
you.
event tonight. If you
Okay.
ever want to come to a networking event,
I want to.
You're
Do
more than
you know what? Let me
welcome.
actually take your number.
you want to come tonight?
I don't know about tonight, but I do want to come to a networking event.
Yeah, come to.
It's
an
so
event.
good, honestly.
Tonight-
Like, all
tonight's
the
gonna be-
networking's good.
Yeah, tonight's going to be full on because it's speed networking. So
Okay.
it's like you got to talk. It's the second one I've ever done. But
Yeah.
normally my events are quite chilled.
I was at the
Um,
last one. I
Yeah.
did the speed. The
How
first
did you find the
networking.
speed networking?
Yeah, it was good.
Is it okay?
Yeah.
Because I've never done, that was the first one I'd ever done. I didn't bring my cowbell today. Man,
That's okay.
is that a good thing?
Without saying anything, your point was taken.
No, it was good.
Otherwise, I'm just going to be
It
hollering.
was almost too quick.
Yeah, but the thing is, the problem is though, if I
Yeah.
made it longer than you were there for like nearly 3 hours,
Yeah.
right? If I made it longer than 2 minutes each, you would have
Yeah.
been there for like 4 or 5 hours, and
Yeah.
people would have been knackered by the end of it.
Yeah.
But
And probably if there's people that have been there before, then like if I was there again, I'd know more what to expect.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
of
so
course.
should I press add?
I think that.
Yeah,
That
that's the
makes a
thing,
difference,
and yeah, that's because also it's building the connections as well, which is what I think is important about networking. Is just
Yeah.
obviously building the connections and working upon that, because it does give you. The first time you meet someone, I mean, me and Jess have recently signed up to a thing at Progressive, which is Rob Moore's thing,
Yeah.
and it's good, but it's just going frequently enough to be able to make it worth it.
Yeah, just send me a quick. All right.
Cool.
Cool. All right then. Well, thank you. How do we get that out to the car park?
Yeah, let me take you down actually.
Thank you.
Awesome, thank you, really good, lovely to meet you. Yeah,
Pleasure.
I might even do one myself.
Yeah.
So look, we never know. I'll get your number off of Jess, and yeah,
So what-
I've
it's
really
supposed
enjoyed
to
it.
be
So
on
I'm
cars.
keen to
Or
keen
I'll
to
pick
do
them
one.
up or whatever,
Yeah.
and then we'll talk about getting them edited and stuff.
Yeah, and as Kieran said, like just send them over to him. We can send them over in whatever format to him. He's also got an edit.
We'll rough edit everything
Yeah.
anyway before we show it to anyone else.
Yeah,
So-
good. Yeah, because I want to get him posting stuff.
And I can generate all the transcripts and everything
Yes.
from it as well.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's not
Oh,
bad.
excellent. Okay, good.
Great.
Well,
I'll hang out here
Yeah.
and then we'll follow up.
Awesome. Thank you.
Nice
Lovely
to
to
meet
meet
you.
you.
Cheers,
Yeah,
man.
we might see each other again
Yeah,
because
probably.
I probably will do one at some point. Get my arse.
Nice.
But yeah,
Okay.
lovely to meet you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Lights with these.
So it's finally happened. Someone has broken the 340-mile-an-hour barrier in top fuel drag racing. In a second, I'm going to show you the video of what 12,000 horsepower looks like when it's all hooking up. That's pretty common on racetrack, as neither of these cars can outrun that big gap. The whole idea behind this event was to bring the superstars together for a shoot or nothing to do it here.
Yeah, man, I think he's done something. Anyways,
Oh, and you've got a recording light as well.
yeah.
So what does that tie into?
The recording light?
Yeah.
I don't even know. I really don't. I don't know. It's some. I don't know how it works. They've done. So it's just basically this light here.
Ah, right. Okay. That's cool. Yeah.
So, you got your hard drive?
I do have a hard drive.
Okay.
So I had to think for a second. I was like, do I have a hard drive with me?
Do I?
Yes, I always have a hard drive with me, I think.
Okay. So where did you meet, Jess?
So I met Jess so my podcast is about AI.
Yes.
So I focus on AI in the creative industries.
Mhm.
And then I've just started a Women with AI podcast as well.
Okay.
So I have a woman who hosts that show,
Yeah.
but my company produces all of it. And I got invited to chuck it in any directory, whatever. Or in the folder. I got invited to MC an event in Tunbridge Wells put on by the Business Improvement District, where they wanted to talk about